If I only had one wish to give, that wish would be for you to live forever and ever. When I see you on the street, my heart skips a beat. And I'll take to the sky on a natural high, loving you until the tide. Take to the sky on a natural high, loving you more. Gotta try to do all the things you want me to do, and I don't even know you. I try to be so big, all for nothing, nothing, and I don't even know you. Take me in your arms, through me with all of your charms, and I'll take to the sky in a natural high.
Welcome to the Blacknificent Show here on the galaxy of Hawaii.net. Oh, what a beautiful rising, eh? What a beautiful rising. At this moment, I'm calling for calm. Yet again. Calling for calm. As we do on the Galaxy Blacknificent Radio Show, when we enter into this realm, we do our clearing. The clearing is a process of let's just get everything out so that we can get ourselves into a good space, into a good mood. A lot of us don't really take advantage of this. Some of us do. Some of us do, though, but a lot of us don't. And in the practices that we incorporate during this show, you will find that we'll be able to balance ourselves on a more regular, more effective way, mainly because of practice. Okay? So, first of all, I would like to say to brother Io, thank you for bringing us into this rising on this beautiful, glorious day. Beautiful, glorious day. And all the blessings that we all receive upon this time, or that we have received, that we give thanks for those blessings and gifts of the life itself, gifts of the day. I like to, while it's fresh in my mind as well, I like to give thanks to our guest for last night's program on the Black Father Support Group show, Brother Nehepsa, and his associate as well from the Dogan Society, Brother Rudy, and I would recommend that you go and look on that recording, which will be on the Facebook on the Black Father Support Group on there as well. All right, so you can look at that recording there, and we covered a lot of things there because it was an invitation to a graduation ceremony over there in North London at the Earth Centre. I want to give thanks to all of those who have been very patient and peaceful in their nature very patient and peaceful in their nature, beautiful, exemplary, beautiful and exemplary behavior. Even those of the bureaucratic system were anticipating a completely different outcome. Completely different outcome. Understandably, because they're within their own mindset of how they would handle things and they would react to how the situation was arose. And I'm talking about the recent actions that has been that has happened over here in the UK. I want to also commend the Jamaican constabulary forces and all those who were involved, who are involved in resolving a traumatic experience that affected the world. And if there is anything to be learned here by from this, is to hear how and observe how the Jamaican political political leaders have reacted to a onslaught onto the community within the community. And it's not to say that it hasn't happened previously or before, but this one affected so many, and and they reacted accordingly. So I'd just like to give out a commendation to those who are acting swiftly, and we know that this is not the end of it all. We know that this is not the end of it, but those who are involved in that, I would say to you, you know what, you made your bed, so you're gonna have to lay in it right now. I want to big up all of the younger people who have yet to experience what life is really has to offer. Reactive or interreactive as many have been, right? The fear that I know that many of you are harboring at this time, we find a way of peace within yourself, peace to emulate to others. The unification that we are showing to each other is such a beautiful thing right now. And I encourage you all to continue because if we continue to show that what we are doing is far stronger, far more powerful, far more effective than what the so-called government leaders who supposedly are representations of us, and realizing that they are so disconnected that they have no idea what our reaction would be, what our our expectations are. How can you be standing behind the walls and try to guide those with hatred, with anger, with murderous intentions by waving your hands? waving your hands. Nobody's interested in you in that way. You have to be there at the front so that they can actually literally see you, see the glint in your eye of determination, steadfastness. How can you be sitting behind the desk of comfort and safety while the people are on the streets talking, interacting, protecting their own lives, and yet you see this as a riotous actions? You see this as a riotous actions? No, it's not riotous. It's the fact that you are allowing a fascist, bigoted type of underlying type of thoughts, actions to develop, and you're giving them free rein. No, that's not right. That is not right at all. Here on the Blacknificent Show, we talk to you. We talk with you. We talk with you. So, young, old, indifferent, for, against, you're more than welcome to come and speak with us here on the Galaxy. 0203 289 6504. That is 0203 89 6504. That is 0203 289 6504. Don't know where I'll get that other number from. But anyhow. So you're more than welcome to come and join us and have a conversation, right? And we'll tell you our perspective as a community. As a community, we will tell you that. Exit, stage left. I'm telling you, every day, we are looking at freedom, and that's the truth right here on the Blacknificent Radio Show.
In the garden, just me, just my love. Oh, I found my love, and now I hold her so close. She is mine. She is mine in paradise. Oh, yeah. Oh, on the side. Oh, tender eyes. Two hearts that one together. Oh, love can't be denied. She's in my and she's crazy for me. We're in love. We're in love in paradise. Oh, strong. Tender are we two in love together for eternity. She's in my and she's crazy We're in love. We're in love in paradise. Oh,
Grand Risings, family, Grand Risings once again. As we enter into this clearing zone, the clearing zone. Boy, I tell you. Well, the Olympics, them, what a fiasco. What a fiasco. And again, let's put it this way. It doesn't matter where we did. We could be performing at the peak of our performances, but yet there will always be some fine, some kind of degradation being exhibited towards us as a black nation. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Right? Because, you know, if the games, well, the games were here in England, right, in the United Kingdom, right, and the cheering, the attendance, and everything. Obviously, it's going to be the majority of the people who's going to be there. They're going to be from the UK, right? So they're going to support their own. They're going to support their own, right? And of course, the Olympics is one of those of where everyone, the ethos up there is everybody is equal, no matter where you come from, right? You're an athlete, you're representing your region, and you're doing your absolute best in performance on the day, and therefore, the, the results are the results, right? But sometimes, those who don't even win, right, will capsulate the essence of what the games is all about. You know, the games are about oneness. Although some people take it a bit further, which is understandable as well, because they want to be patriotic. Patriotic. Fly the flag, the nation, we the people. You know, and of course there is those who are having the political. Um, I know I emphasize politics, but it's also other things as well. So when I say political, I encompass all of the things that are being oppressive to each person around the world right now. So please don't just think that it's just a political bashing that me I deal with. But when we're looking on how these people are performing, and they're performing because they know they have the hopes of the nation on their shoulders. Even if they perform and they know that they're not going to be the winner, but it's the thought of being a participant, which is extremely important to them and to the nation as well. So when they stand there and they take the applause at the same time as they do take the applause of the audience, that they know that the world sees them in that moment. So win or lose, they have been seen, they have been recognized, they have been acknowledged. You know, and obviously, it's not everybody's going to be a champion. Not everybody's going to be a champion. but the sun does shine on the dog's ass someday. Because there's been a few of them that come true that were unexpected, you know? Anyway. Greetings, caller. I'm wondering if you're still there. Is still there? No, he's not there at the moment. Okay, we may call back. We may call back. Let's see, I'll leave it up a little bit so I can hear. I can hear if it come true. Yeah. So the journey of many of us, right, has not even been tapped into, because even as I'm watching the athletes there and the commentary of previous champions of who are obviously they're not in their peak as they are now, so 5 years ago, they were at their peak, unbeatable, and now the next generation is coming through. And there was a comment of like that was asked of Hussein Bolt, and what it goes something like this. It's the commentator was asking Hussein, do you think that there is an athlete that can take your world record right now? Right. And he said, well, no, I don't see anybody that can do that right now. Not of the caliber of what I was, you know. So, he said, no, not at this time, not at this time. And of course, you know what? Self-belief is a big pill to take. And it is something that a lot of people just cling to. They cling to. And surprisingly, because even if you listen to the commentary of a lot of them, right, even after their performances, the gratitude of actually being able to perform. And it was a case of that, if they lost, they really felt it. They really felt the thought of, oh man, I should have won that. I could have won that. I had it in my mind that I was going to win. And I thought to myself, as I'm listening to some of these athletes, and in various sports as well, of where is the joy? Where is the joy of participating in such an occasion? Where is the pride of just being an Olympian? The few Olympians that I have got to know over my time, right? Because when I found out that, oh yeah, they said, oh yeah, I competed in the Olympics, and I said, wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I probably was more excited about it than what they were. than what they were. But obviously, they're going with the intentions of winning the gold medal. Probably if it was me, I'd just be glad to just be there, in the village to say that I'm part of the whole thing. If I win, I win. But boy, it's a case of like I'm here. Let me make the best of it. You know. But me, I really have to look at a lot of those athletes and think to myself, or is it just what was presented to us? And I really do believe that what was presented to us through the media's eye was a completely different story to actually what was going on. I know that many of them had the challenges with accommodation and things like this, but it's the thought of like coming together on such a an occasion of where he's saying that at this time I am the best that my region has in performing this task. I am the best, or nearly the best. And then they want to compete. They want to compete you, or you compete against the rest of the world, so that you are the best of the best. Eh? What a beautiful thing! What a beautiful occasion that could be. And when I reflect that back now to us in the community, and I'm seeing the the young people, the young people who have never had any form of conflict. They never experienced mass mass movement. They've never been able to express themselves in their true unified energy of youth, and to speak into their future. And of course, you know what? When they're talking about all these disruptive things that are happening, it's not everybody, it's not everyone, because say the majority of those that were actually involved in a lot of the action, the disruptive actions that were happening here in the UK, it's only if it's 30%, that would be a lot. The rest is coming along for bravado, curiosity, you know. Oh, you're gonna miss out on something exciting. Yeah. Because if that was the case, that every one of them, if every one of those people that attended those places there took the took the unified action of everyone is going to do something. Everyone is going to do something with the same veracity. There would be total and absolute devastation. There would be. It's like when you had the other side now, the ones that were calling for, no, we don't want this type of behavior. We are not part of your thing. We are here and we are in unification. We're in unity. We stand together. Even though we are different from different regions, we stand together. So even if you stand together, they're actually standing together as one unit. And look at the strengths that they had. And I'm sure if they were confronted in that occasion, it probably would have gone and escalated into a completely different level. Mainly because of the momentum of the unification. And I'm sure you're gonna get sporadic things happening all around for quite a while. You're gonna get it, right? You're gonna get actions of um of like group fighting and attacks and things like this. You're gonna get it. But at the same time, it's the unification that is our strength as well. And of course, us who have been on this road of self-identification, of s- of self-defense, we are in preparation, and we have full expectation of what is to come. We have to have all bases covered. I attended the parliament. Yeah, I attended the event there, Pan African People's Parliament, right, the launch. Yeah, I attended that event, and what was and I'm going to have to speak very honest. I'm going to have to speak very honest and very clear and plain. There are many elders who were intended in attendance. There are less, I would say, middle age, and then there are very few youngs that are there. The importance of our presence in our own defense is absolutely imperative at this time. As life changes, the memes, the memes have changed, the political arena has changed. Are we still going to just stand by and allow society to run roughshod over the few that are left? Our identification has been eradicated from many of society's places of influence. Even though there is a change of leadership in the UK, but the strength that they have exhibited even up to today, and they are facing a massive challenge because obviously they have to react to these Neanderthal type people. They have to react to those because they can't allow them to just go run round and do whatever they do, which is which is understandable that they want to go and express themselves, but they're instilling an unwarranted fear within many of the communities. Unwarranted. The fact that unfortunately, and I'm going to tell you now, a tear came to my eye when I heard about this thing. The young children who were killed in that incident, whether it's a state or a case of deliberate targeting, or if it was a state case of like a non-well-being person, I shed a tear. I shed a tear. Young life taken just like that. And it hasn't stopped. It has not stopped. Every other day, I'm hearing this. Every other day. And the thing is that outside of the norm, this is a norm. This is the norm. Because just as we're seeing something on the doorstep, we're seeing it across the world where people are dropping bombs, acts of war. And of course, the media is always pick on this thing that is going to be emotional. Let's bring a child into this. What about the 20, 30 adults, 60 adults that had lost their lives as well? Yeah, from the same action. Why would they do that? They'll even bring to the forefront, oh, a dog was injured, and leave out and they bring a story behind the dog, behind in preference to the families that were being affected. That's their priority. Disassociation from the facts. And then you would point the finger at the person that committed the act and say, please stop. We beg you to stop. There's no need to continue with this action anymore. And you will say something like that. And then they will say that you are in the wrong to try and say something like that. So where are we in the wrong? If those same people come to attack you, then what? Are you going to allow them to wipe you and your family out because of their actions? No, no. This is the type of time, this is the type of thing that we have to have our own parliamentary representation that will speak in our defense and act in our defense. Not in the sense of that we're going to go and commit war if not necessary, but to make a declaration of no participation will be necessary. And I think that it is necessary as well. It is necessary. So even if you are anyway connected with any of that, just like how they were quick to bring sanctions against African nations and African families, we're supposed to sanction them too and announce the reason why we are taking action against you. Announce to them the reason why we're taking action against you. What we say? Do unto one, and you do unto all. Touch one and touch all. Galaxy family, it's your time to make the move now, We've done the preparation. It's time to put it into action. Into action now. Powerful as we are, do not let all your work go to waste right now. Don't let it go to waste. The time has to come to stand up against all of them now. Let them see who you are. Let them see how you are. Right? Sure. I'm telling you. What can I say to all them people they know? Fire upon them, man. Fire.
Saturdays from Kakauru. What are you hear the music and everybody a say Rasta, Rasta. And with them a team. Everybody a say Rasta, Rasta. So gone to the break. Teaching the words of His Majesty with their unclean ways of living, defending the true meaning of Jah. It got to come from your upbringing. They take the Father's name in vain. It got to be pure from the heart. They fake the Father's name in vain. It got to be clean from the doors. Everybody a say Rasta, Rasta. I with them aside. Everybody a say Rasta, Rasta. A pure parasite. Jah is the wonderful counselor. Tell them Jah is the mighty God. He is the lily of the valley and the Lord of Lords. All right. But we have to marry just because we come defend the faith. Because we know the real faith is different from the faith.
Yes, I. Grand Risings, my brother, Grand Risings.
Yeah, Grand Rising, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, I'm doing good, man. I'm just trying to balance out the what's going on right now, and like what's our part, and bringing in the conversation of what's our part because of the in the presence of the Pan-Africanist Parliament.
Okay.
And what is going to be the future, because obviously it's a new parliament that they're looking to form right now. And obviously calling upon all participants and activists to be part of this,
Yeah.
And I think
before I get into it, right, it's weird, right? I've got you now, right, on the Skype, right? And when I put it on the galaxyafrica.net, I'm getting Brother Ayo.
Oh, right. Oh, he's probably still playing. Let me call him and tell him. Let me call him and tell him to move over. All right then, brother, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. No problem.
All right. I saw it go, man. I saw it go.
I'm with them aside. Everybody a say Rasta, Rasta. A pure parasite, side.
Babylon, I put on the pressure. Oh yes, all time pressure. Babylon, I put on the pressure. Oh yes, all time pressure. On this land, on this land. Some can't take it, but they can't leave it. Some are forced to stay under it. Oh yeah, you got to keep on slaving. in a Babylon. You got to keep on slaving, oh yes, in a Babylon. Rasta man, don't you give it up, give it up. Just keep on praising God and lick your yuck. Oh yes, you got to keep on stepping out of Babylon. Stepping, keep on stepping out of Babylon. Everybody got to keep on working on. Everybody got to keep on slaving right now. Keep on slaving in a Babylon. All time pressure, you just keep on slaving in a Babylon. Watch this, all time pressure in a Babylon.
Wow, come on, just because you're over there and not here, I'm with you. My heart, my soul, that love light keeps burns on within, and my heart is for you, and my soul is with you, and the love we have goes on and on. Yeah. So come on, let me take you home. Remember when I hold you in my arms, squeeze me tight and say, sugar, I miss you. By the look in your eyes, I realize that you're coming from within, and your heart would be on me, and your soul would be with me, and the love we had would go on and on. Yeah, bow, bow, bow. Come on, here, die. Bow, 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 bow. Woo. Bow, bow, come on, here, die. Bow, bow, bow. Never, you believe it. Oh, really ain't true. Remember when I hold you in my arms, inside and say, sugar, I miss you. By the look in your eyes, I realize that you're coming from within, and your heart will be for me, and your soul will be with me, and the love we had to go on and on. Yeah. Oh, wow, gosh.
As we reach the top of the hour, right. As we reach the top of the hour, we have we'll be going into our midday meditation this strong here. I know that's right now is not live on the air at the moment, but we're still broadcasting live anyway, but still I'm recording it. So we'll be able to get it back in the near future. Okay. Anyway, for all those who are online with me, let's say welcome as well. And right, we'll soon get ourselves onto the midday meditation, onto the galaxy line as well. So we'll soon have all of that as well. Okay. So without further ado, let's go into our midday meditation this strong here, and let's journey into our minds. The power of the breath, the power of the breath.
Early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table. Make sure that your coffee has its sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy, your toast unlikely. All that's missing is your morning kiss that used to greet me. Now you see the juice is sour. It used to be so sweet, and I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. We don't talk the way we used to talk. It's hurting so deep. I've got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. Like you're simple woman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Oh, I'm only human. This girl is more than occasional. It's a token of love from you to me. I found my way through the rush hour, trying to make it home just for you. I want to make sure that your dinner will be waiting for you. But when you get there, you just tell me you're not hungry at all. You said you'd rather read the paper and you don't want to talk. You like to think that I'm just crazy when I say that you changed. I'm convinced I know the problem. You don't love me the same. You're just going through the motions. Early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table. Make sure that your coffee has its sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy, your toast unlikely. All that's missing is your morning kiss that used to greet me. Now you see the juice is sour. It used to be so sweet, and I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. We don't talk the way we used to talk. It's hurting so deep. I've got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. That you're a superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. This girl is more than occasional. It's ever talking of love from you to me. I found my way through the rush hour, trying to make it home just for you. I want to make sure that your dinner will be waiting for you. But when you get there, you just tell me you're not hungry at all. You said you'd rather read the paper and you don't want to talk. You like to think that I'm just crazy when I say that you changed. I'm convinced I know the problem. You don't love me the same. You're just going through the motions and you're not being fair. I've got my pride, I will not cry. Feel like never again. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down. Think that everything is okay. Boy, I am only human. Still needs more than I need to know. You know, you're so wrong. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let me down. Don't you let me down. I'm only human. Yeah, it's more than occasional. You know, look into the corners of your mind. I'll always be there for you through good and bad times, but I can't be you for all my that you want me to be. I'll give my love a lasting love if you return to me. I'm not a superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down. Think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. Occasional hugs if I'm talking of love. If you feel it in your heart and you understand me, stop right where you are. Everybody sing along with me. It's just so sweet, but you got to realize you can let down. So big boy, I am only human.
And the good Lord said, love thy brother
You're
than
in tune to Fit Day Meditation here on the Blacknificent Radio Show.
Because he He can surely turn the tide. He can push the tempest by. It's he who gave the robin the red breast. He gave a nightingale a song, a twiddle-dee-dee. And all he had of man and man is that we give each other love. Oh, ye man of little faith, I say, get down on your knees and start to pray, so the children can have a better place to play, and your reward is very great. Oh, he can surely turn the tide. He can push the tempest by. It's he who gave the robin the red breast. He gave the nightingale a song, and all he asks of men and men and men and men is that we give each other love. It's that we give each other love. La, la, la. He can surely turn the tide. He can push the tempest by. It's he who gave the robin the red breast. He gave the nightingale a song, and all he has of man and Sugu Zaga Sugu 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 Hey hey hey. You say you love me, and I ain't got no money. All I give you is love, oh love. Your friends will give you bad vibes, just to make you beat up a stride. But no, my little woman, don't run away. Don't run away. No, my little woman, don't run away. Cause you see, you've got to breathe before you walk. You've got to be a baby before you come a man. So no, my little woman, don't run away. Don't run away. No, my little woman, don't run away. Cause you see, your friends will give you bad vibes, just to make you build up a stride. No, my little woman, don't run away. Hey, Sugu Saga Sugu, 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 Sugu. Hey, hey. No. Your friends will give you bad vibes. Now you're not taking the blame. Why don't you play the game?
I'm longing to see you. I wanna know how you've been doing over yonder. I'm gonna catch this flight, and when I reach my destination, I hope you'll be smiling, longing to see me. I thought you'd drop me a line just to say hello, my dear. I'm doing fine. Doesn't matter anyway now, but my love for you will never change. Tell me what you're doing right now, cause when shut up, everybody gonna play for loving you. When shut up, everybody gonna put the blame on me. See, I had your number in my diary, but as soon as I get home, that will change. I'm not playing any games. I wanna know if what we have still remains the same. Tell me right now, cause I wanna know if when I'm tired of taking the blame for loving you. When said I'm loving you, the love that's true. Oh, telling you, my darling, it's not an easy game. I'm longing to see you. I wanna know how you've been doing over yonder. I'm gonna catch this flight, and when I reach my destination, I hope you'll be smiling, longing to see me. Thought you'd drop me a line just to say hello, my dear. I'm doing fine. Doesn't matter anyway now, cause when you stop the show, tired of the day for something that I didn't do. Yo, they wanna know it's a lot that's true. Everybody gonna put the blame on me. Oh.
Thank you, Jack, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Jack, for what you're doing now. Thank you, Jack, for every little thing. Yeah. Thank you, Jack, 'cause you make me sing. I'm gonna sing along. Say competition, but I made my decision. You can keep your opinion. I'm just crawling on the white man communion. Thank you, Jack, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Jack, for what you're doing now. Right now. Thank you, Jack, for every little thing. Yeah. Thank you, Jack. You make the birds to sing. We're gonna sing
Say no competition, but I made my decision. You can keep your opinion coming, all right to thread, yeah. Thank you, Jack, for what you've done for me. Thank you, Jack, for what you're doing now. Right now. Thank you, Jack, for every little thing. Yeah. Thank you, Jack, 'cause you made me sing. I'm gonna sing along.
You're in tune to the Midday Meditation here on the Blacknificent Radio Show.
Little boy man, yes, he broke my heart. All I wanted to do was to make my dreams come true. Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie? You left me here in this pit for another guy. Having you, baby, everything was alright. Having you, baby, everything was alright. La la la. Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie? You left me in this fear for another night. And you leave me everything was alright. And you leave me everything was alright.
My woman is really and they ain't looking on. Oh God, see, I woke up this morning with no bread on my table. My woman, whoa, she is so willing and able. I take it easy, she said. Jack is alive and he must survive. I can't hold out much longer. The wicked is getting stronger. And every day it's just blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Every day it's just blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Everyone's playing their game in fear. I just can't get my equal share. My woman, whoa, she is so killing and devil. Take it easy, she said. Jack is alive and you must survive. I can't hold that much longer. The weekend is getting stronger. And every day it's the blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Every day it's the blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Oh, I know why, I know why, oh, no, no. Well, oh, yeah. Ain't no devil, no time. A woman, a woman. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I woke up this morning with no bread on my table. My woman, whoa, she is so feeling unable. Take it easy, she said. Jack is alive and you must survive. I can't hold out much longer. The weekend is getting stronger. And every day it's the blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Every day it's the blood, sweat, and tears burning inside of me. Everyone's playing their game in fear. I just can't get my equal share. My woman, whoa, she is so feeling unable. Take it easy, she said. Jack is alive and you must survive. I can't hold out much longer. The weekend is getting stronger. Every day it's
I said, whoa, oh, who could it be? Hey, who could it be? Yeah, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that been just speaking at the charity, girl. It's so gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that been just speaking at the charity. No, I know this girl from she was so small, and when she never have no looks at all. Pick her up and let she look so good. And man, you want to take her out my neighborhood. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that been just speaking at your charity. You know, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that been just speaking at your charity. You know, buy the clothes and let you look sweet. With other girls and you can compete. Oh, little girl, it's a good thing that we meet. But where you go, people, let's say you look neat. So, gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your cherry tree. It gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your cherry tree. I take this girl to Beverly Hills. I love her until time keeps still. Oh, little girl, that's my hope and my will. So my dreams must be fulfilled. Gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your tribute. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your cherry tree. Hey, who could it be but me? Who could it be? Maybe. We dance and art, we must combine. Oh, little girl, save it of mine. I love you more all the time. And in my life, you look a bright sunshine. So, gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your cherry tree. Yes, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that picture speaking at your cherry tree. We are like girlfriend, sticking to boyfriend. Girlfriend, sticking to boyfriend. Yes, gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that bitch just speaking at your territory. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that bitch just speaking at your territory. Know this girl from she was so small. When she never have no looks at all. Pick her up and let she look good. Man, you want to take her around my neighborhood. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that bitch just speaking at your territory. Yes, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be that bitch just speaking at your territory. So I said, girlfriend, stick to your boyfriend, and boyfriend, stick to your girlfriend. Yeah. Just be my girls and be my boys, and let my life be full of joy.
I think I know what's coming. Jesus Christ. Sounds reasonable. A special request and the popular demand. And you wishes might come on. I mean, feel shocked to play on the chat. This one bound to make you right. Whether you're white or black, don't say, don't say. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Never get it back until the very next day. Me never get it back until the very next day. Me search down Kingston to Montego Bay. Search down Kingston to Montego Bay. Me can't find me girl named Faye. She must have gone with the boss DJ. Cause me no matter what the people of the world may say. But no matter what the people of the world may say, before me go a bed, me say me know me have to pray. She gone with the boss DJ. So much she gone with the boss DJ. I want L-O-V-E love you. I want K-I-S-S kiss you. I want L-O-V-E love you. I want K-I-S-S kiss you. I woulda give you little love in no child. I woulda give you little love in no child. Because me lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Me never get it back until the very next day. Never get it back until the very next day. She gone with the boss DJ. Me take away Carol from Herald. Me take away Sharon from Devon. Me take away Patsy from Ruby. But you make love home and you make love stay. But you better feel no way and you feel it and we may say. So all you got to do, you got to forward to my door. But you tell your little girl I'm gonna give you some more. But no matter what they do, me say, no matter what they say, come in. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Me never get it back until the very next day. But you never get it back until the very next day. Me no lost me love up back on Sun Spring. No lost me love up back on Sun Spring. Me take away the queen from the king. Come on, me take away the queen from the king. Come on, now all you got to do your own thing. Come me, lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Me can't find me girl named Faye. Choma, me can't find me girl named Faye. She must have gone with the boss DJ. Don't you me search Kingston down to Montego Bay. Search Kingston down to Montego Bay. Me can't find me girl named Faye. I want L-O-V-E love you. I want K-I-S-S kiss you. Come on, now all you got to do, you keep on forward and true. You tell your little girl I never turn my back on you. Cause you I love her, me say not another. You may attain, but I will never. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Lost me love up on the Queen's Highway. Me never get the next day.
Well, that's our midday meditation this strong on the galaxy of the we.net. I tell you, hey, you get lucky, you know. Because back in the day, we used to run the dub side as well. right? So you know you get the full length, full length of them things there. Yeah, the full length of that. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, to get the full length of them things there. Why I tell you, why any that's a midday meditation this strong. What I want to do for you, right, is also bring us into the next section now. The ancestral voices. I bring this section, or this session, and doing the research that we do. How can we find a harmonious living right now? Where can we find harmonious living right now? It just seems mad. It seems crazy. Not true. It does seem crazy that we have to really search far and wide to get some kind of how can I put it? Normality. Normality for not only ourselves, but for everybody. What's going on here? But for everybody right now. And in so many ways, we're always looking for the peace and harmony within ourselves. But can we find it? Are we allowed to even live it for ourselves? So it is a thing now. 1963, year after I was born. So that means we've had a lifetime. Some of us have had a lifetime of fighting and defending the front line. A complete front line. 1963. Let's hear some from some community activists and the challenges that they had in their time. We'll be back. We'll be back to discuss
Lincoln Memorial
other
and a meeting there on the way.
we should be back
this evening.
We shall be back to discuss
the entire country,
further actions that we can take. All right.
Like to know
so just listen to how they resolved
a march
planned
on Washington.
Actions.
Mr. Wilkins, would you like to tell us what are the plans as of this date?
The plan is for a huge march to the Lincoln Memorial and a meeting there. On the way, what was described as a brief demonstration at the White House. But we hope to have this an outpouring of expression on the part of the people who wish Congress and the nation to know how they feel, how very deeply they feel about civil rights legislation. I think it's fair to say, wouldn't you say, Martin, that this is no attempt to blackjack anybody? We want to show how we feel.
Exactly. We are not going to Washington to intimidate any congressman or any senator. It will give a large number of people an opportunity to articulate their longings and aspirations for freedom, their desire to see meaningful, forthright civil rights legislation in this session of Congress. And of course, we also intend to arouse the conscience of the nation over the economic plight of the Negro 100 years after emancipation. And I think it can have a great impact. I think it will dramatize the issue. It will have educational value in that it will allow many people to see and understand the continued indignities and injustices which Negroes confront all over the nation.
All over the country. It has captured the imagination of hundreds of thousands of people. Now, we don't know how many of them will be marching to Washington, but a goodly number will. They feel keenly about this, and they want the seat of government. They want the American conscience to know how they feel.
You're aware that the president has cautioned that he would just as soon have the march postponed or not occur?
We see this as an all-inclusive demonstration of our belief in the president's program, and since it has been declared to be an orderly demonstration with a rally, at which time I hope to be one of the people who will speak in the interest of the Urban League toward preparing people for the new opportunities. At this level, we will be cooperating.
And I think it's important that the march go off because there is legislation which many people have gone to jail for the substance. That is, the lunch counter demonstrations throughout the South have to be sort of brought to some climax, and it could be done in this public accommodations bill, which is before the Congress. Then, of course, it just left the Delta and a lot of poor people over there, people who make $2.25 a day for 12 hours of work. And so some legislation has to come out of the Congress of the United States to deal with these problems.
People like Agnes Myers, Roy, president of the board of the NAACP, and other white liberals and friends have cautioned against having a major demonstration for civil rights this summer. How do you...
Well, it's our position in the NAACP that the opponents of civil rights legislation left no doubt as soon as the president spoke. In fact, they didn't wait for him to speak. They began announcing their opposition and what they intended to do. They were going to filibuster. They were going to hold up appropriation measures. They were scaring the country that they weren't going to get a tax cut on account of civil rights. They're doing all the boogeyman stunts. And if they're going to use Washington as their base of operations for opposition to this bill, we don't see anything wrong with using Washington as our base to indicate support for this bill. And in my estimation, this march is going to be a 100% outpouring of the disgust and distress of Black Americans and white liberals over the way the Congress has handled this bill.
I think that in any such demonstration as the march, which is planned, you will expect loud outpouring of cries, of fears from many, many people who don't want it to take place, who are afraid that something might happen. But it seems to me that it reflects a lack of understanding of the nature of the times in which we are living. The fact that Negroes all over the country are concerned and are aroused and must express their feeling. They've waited 100 years, and that's too long to wait.
But what about white friends and liberals who have worked in these organizations for many years, who now say, look, let's not go this fast. Let's not...
we don't have people like that. I'm sorry. Our telephone is ringing with white people who want to get into the march.
We don't judge our friends on the basis of the color of their skin. We judge them on the basis of the fact of whether or not they are willing to go all the way with us. If they are not willing to go all the way, then they are not friends of ours.
Now, we've said that these are interracial organizations, but you five gentlemen are Negroes. You are assuming the leadership, and you are asking white liberals and white friends to go along with the Negro speaking for himself rather than speaking through white surrogates.
I would like to make this point because I think there is a misconception that any white people who happen to serve on your boards or committees are therefore automatically there to exercise control and restraint. Yeah. This is not the experience of the Urban League. There are many white people who serve on our boards who are asking for more militancy. I speak for the National Urban League at their insistence, not at my demanding, because they feel that a Negro is best able to express the hopes and the longings of his people.
We ought to be clear that there is a desire on the part of Negroes for self-expression through leadership of civil rights organizations. This is important because Negroes have been denied that self-expression for so many years. But this does not mean, in any sense of the word, as far as I'm concerned, that white persons who are sincere cannot participate and cooperate.
Exactly.
And I think it's very important to have this participation. I think it would be very dangerous and even tragic if the struggle in the United States for civil rights degenerated to a racial struggle of blacks against whites, so to speak.
Amen.
It is a tension between justice and injustice, and we enlist consciences in the struggle. We appreciate the participation in this movement of white persons of goodwill, and we have many of them, fortunately, and I think the number's growing every day, and this helps to keep the struggle on the level that it should be on.
Sure. As far as I can understand you gentlemen, this is not a racist march. This is a march of aroused Americans who want to demonstrate and assume their rights to petition their
And
Congress
witness
and support the president's civil rights legislation. The Attorney General would seem to disagree with you in terms of his testimony for Congress. He says that the most disturbing thing for Negroes is the public accommodation segregation.
The truth of the thing is that it's a vicious circle. Unless people are adequately educated, they can't possibly find good jobs. And unless people can find good jobs, they can't buy good housing, which puts them in good neighborhoods where they can get a good education. So instead of being one major thing, it's a group of things.
Yes, that's true, but it seems to me, of course, that the public accommodations matter, which is now being batted around in the Senate Commerce Committee, is the most abrasive and pervasive of the aspects of a Negro's life. Every time he steps out of his front door in the morning until he comes home at night, he runs the risk, and some of them don't run a risk, they run the certainty of this kind of denial and humiliation and mistreatment. And sometimes in the South, as you well know, in many subtle ways, you walk into a store and you're you're the next one to be waited on, but 3 white people come up and they get waited on first. This is a matter, Negroes meet this. In many places they would have to ride on the back of the bus. And they do want a Coca-Cola and can't get it. Now these seem small things, but then I think the Attorney General was talking about the things that rub people the wrong way and make them say, oh, let's get rid of it,
And, there are other areas of life which are very subtle, but which are not even being covered in the bill. And then there's some pronounced ways. I'm just thinking of the fact that you drive through the South. In some states, you can't even stop at the restrooms. And this is humiliating to women, and it's very...
And of course, uncomfortable.
Well, it's very uncomfortable, but it's one of these little daily things. But I think that there are 2 areas that should be covered, and that's the question of the voting bill. I don't see why we can't have universal suffrage for all Negroes. I mean, I really don't see why it has to be just a 6th grade educational level, because that's a device, and I think we were talking beforehand about how many people will be covered.
The Nonviolent Coordinating Committee is putting a great deal of its effort on voting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we have a great program now, and I think in the Delta of Mississippi, but Roy might want to amplify on just how many people would be covered by a 6th grade education.
Well, the literacy test bill, we agreed, we estimated, we couldn't, that not more than 100,000 Negroes would be added to the rolls under the literacy test. This is, Martin, you remarked on the number of people who didn't have a 6th grade education in one state. For 58%, I think it was, in Louisiana.
We testified before the House and suggested universal suffrage. I mean, there's just no reason why a person is not 21, he can't vote. He can go into the Army whether he can read or write. So why shouldn't he be able to vote?
And this is no sign that the person isn't intelligent, that the person doesn't have some basic intelligence, but because of discrimination and other conditions, many of these people haven't had an opportunity to get an education, and I think they should have the right to vote, and this is very basic.
No president has recommended a bill of this scope before, regardless of how we who suffer may feel its limitations, and I think we ought to work with that. Dangerous, as Jim has said, Jim Farmer has said, to pick out priorities, and because the opposition will start concentrating on your target. They say, well, what do you think is the number 1? And this is, we have to avoid.
Roy, you made the point that no president in certainly my lifetime has made this kind of civil rights recommendation to Congress. Why do you think President Kennedy did this?
He did it because a crisis was created that demanded the attention of the nation on the highest level. just like, well, a dust bowl is something beyond the state and beyond the region and demands federal action. A great disaster like Texas City demands national action. A great flood demands national action. And here we have a crisis in human rights brought about by one of the, in great part, by all of us, of course, but triggered by a man who sits around this table. And I think there's no doubt that Birmingham dramatized and brought into focus what Martin Luther King and his associates did in Birmingham, made it the nation realize that at last the crisis had arrived.
It's necessary, it seems to me, and I just like to throw this out, to keep a considerable amount of pressure on. I mean, that is, the Negro does not, say in Mississippi, for instance, he has no constitutional means, that is, Eastland does not represent him, to achieve some solution. And this has to come from the government, or either he simply has to demonstrate. In other words, segregation may be like a piece of old iron, you put it in the fire to heat it up. And that so that people outside of Mississippi have to become conscious of what is going on there. For instance, there are 45 people in jail right now whose trials were held today for simply being at a voter registration meeting, and someone threw a smoke bomb in the church, and they marched down to the Justice of the Peace Office to protest, or rather to the deputy sheriff, and they were arrested for disturbing the peace. And these are old ladies, some of them 75 years old, but yet they want to stay in jail.
The people that have the vote don't realize how much they could do by writing a letter.
That's right.
A congressman said to me, I have 8 letters on civil rights, 8 from his district, 8. And 5 of those were from white people. Now, you don't have to write a polemic. You just have to write a postcard saying, please vote for the Civil Rights Bill.
In traveling around the country, however, I hear many people make utterances which seem to indicate that they think the millennium will have arrived after we get civil rights legislation. That is not the case. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Even if we get the entire package of the various of the other good bills that are pending before Congress, a good legislation does not automatically enforce itself. We then have a problem of seeing to it that it is enforced in town after town, city after city, and only the will of the people will bring about the enforcement.
I would like to say that I have faith that the American people today are sufficiently convinced of the determination of Negroes to be truly free, and the rightness of that aspiration, that I will be terribly disappointed if there is not a tremendous amount of support from all people for this legislation. But I would agree with Jim Farmer that this will just be, to me, the beginning. It's sometimes a lot easier to get people to walk a picket line than to walk to the library, or to get people to participate, parents to demonstrate, than it is to go to PTA meetings.
One of the heartening things about this aroused conscience that Martin spoke of a moment ago is the unprecedented activity of the organized faiths, the organized religious faiths. Yes. I think we're going places on this, but I'd like to put in a little sour note here. And I get some mail that I can't read on television, that I can't exhibit, and the postmaster delivers like this, holding it up by the people who say that Negroes ought to go back to Africa, and you're only apes anyway, and you think we're going to give you the Civil Rights Bill, you're crazy. And we'll run you on the Mississippi River first, and a whole lot of other uncomplimentary things.
I'm really more concerned about the so-called gentle people of prejudice. The people who will say, I'm with you, I am for you, but what about property values, and the man's right to run his business, and what about standards of the school being lowered? And so for these reasons, who would say, well, maybe you shouldn't have all of this right now. These are the people I'm really concerned about.
Can I comment on that? I agree with you completely. While I share Roy's concern about the extreme bigots, I'm far more concerned about the good, the decent people who don't throw a bomb as they do in Birmingham or other places in the South, but they quietly pack their bags and move away. And this, it seems to me, is more damaging to our cause. and more dangerous to the total cause of integration.
I have an answer for you, gentlemen, but go ahead.
Yeah, I guess what I'm concerned about the one in between going back to Africa and moving away, and that's basically the public officials, you see, who inflict all of this brutality, because the millennium is not going to come primarily because we have no laws to deal with police brutality in the South, which I think is a fundamental issue in this whole thing.
Jim, I suppose you are very conscious of this because your membership is on the firing line, and
and I've seen
daily
people,
the victims of police.
Dr. King just came from Danville, and over a month ago we saw 35 people with holes in their heads as big as a size tray, inflicted by the police. And nothing has been done about it. And the government, it seems to me, ought to do something about this.
What specifically would you suggest for dealing
I would suggest, you see, that the government go in and file some suits. When the constitutional rights of a person is denied, the government ought to file a suit in behalf of that person. I think this gets back to part 3.
That's right.
Now, the government says that the existing laws are inadequate, but yet they're not asking, or it is not asking, for adequate laws in this legislation.
I think the only thing that changes the mind of a policeman like that is to sue him and to convict him and to convince him that the Constitution has some control over that billy club he has in his hand.
Is there anyone who is planning to do this?
Well, now we're entering into one of the most difficult areas of civil rights, because the whole area of convicting a policeman for depriving a man of his civil rights has to be proved down to the last period and comma. Not only that, his intent has to be proved.
Jim?
Yes, I think we have an additional weapon, and that is the ballot.
Yes,
the vote, and which is why all of us here are pushing a voter registration drive. If Negroes are registered in large numbers down there in Greenwood, then the police, of course, will take a different point of view. And in Danville also, because they'll know then that they have to be responsible and responsive not only to white voters, but to Negro voters as well.
White people in the South and in the North need education on this matter. I don't mean education on humanity as to Negroes, but they need education on the constitutional rights of Negroes and on the fact that he's a citizen. He's been here 344 years, and to hear some of them talk, they'd say, look what we're doing for you people.
Mm-hmm. If you've never been in Mississippi, and Roy was born, and I just have to get back because I think I have to just try to help her. Well, I'm sorry, your family was. I was raised down there, and I want to talk about these people. See, I think the president ought to go through Mississippi because I don't think he has any conception, any visual conception. Intellectually, he knows the suffering that's going on there. But just to see some of these shacks that people are living in, it's frightening in a sense, down in Itabena. It's just very depraved.
Itabena?
Itabena.
Yeah. I've been to Itabena.
Isn't it a depraved?
Oh, it's really
it's pitiful. And
I think what we need to get at here is if we could get the total society to somehow lose this making a god of state rights and begin to see citizens as national citizens. Right. Because what's actually happened in this country is much of the miseducation, lack of education altogether, much of the social disorganization we see in the North that concerns us can directly be traced back to the indifference of the people in the North to the problems of the South. These people later become the welfare load, the crime rate of the North. If we had adopted the concept of a citizen in Mississippi being a citizen of the United States, then we would have avoided all these problems. That's the way they're seen overseas.
That's right.
I think the president ought not only look at the housing in Mississippi, he ought to look at the slum tenements in Harlem and in 100 Harlems across the country. Indeed, we might say that our people not only being bitten by dogs in Birmingham, Reverend King, but by the rats in the slum tenements.
Well, aren't we saying, gentlemen, that a program has not yet been worked out to grapple with the magnitude of this problem in the United States, both North and South?
It's not regional.
So right. Isn't there a need now, because of the urgency and the seriousness of the situation, to develop a sort of crash program to lift the standards of the Negro and to get rid of the underlying conditions that produce so many social evils and develop so many social problems. I think this is what we face at this time, and I know it leads to the whole question of discrimination in reverse and all of that. But I think we've got to face the fact in this country that because of the legacy of slavery and segregation and the seeds of injustice planted in the past, that we have this harvest of confusion now, and we're going to continue to have it until we get to the root of the problem.
Well, that's that root and the rats go together.
Yeah.
The announcement of the Real Estate Brokers Association some time ago advising their members not to pay any attention to fair housing laws, that property rights still came first. And when you think of the billions of dollars in this country tied up in real estate, there isn't much that the President of the United States could do by going and looking at some slums. Let's be fair.
Yeah. Right.
And the real power and obstacle there is the concern with how many kids are bitten by rats or how many people live in slums.
Most of you recall that we did announce recently, our board adopted this domestic Marshall Plan, and this was consciously given this name because, if you recall, this country has spent some $12 billion on rehabilitation of Europe, war-torn Europe. In a 4-year period, we have spent millions on refugees from Cuba and from Hungary. We spent all kinds of money giving free education to veterans after the war and making it possible for them to buy homes. I think the time has come for us to honestly face up to the fact that this tremendous gap due to historical deprivation that the Negro has suffered will not be closed not quickly enough unless we consciously and deliberately establish programs that call not just for equal schools, but better schools and better teachers and provisions for housing and conscious recruiting at the level of employment. This has to be done in order to get rid of what I see too much of, and that is the feeling of despair and hopelessness.
I think that Negroes have had special treatment in this country for 350 years, special treatment of a negative sort.
That's right.
Now what Whitney and the rest of us are asking for is some special treatment of a positive sort to wipe out that gap.
Are you united in this, or is there any...
well, I want to be understood on it.
But I'm not asking people to hire people who aren't qualified.
And we're not asking them to skip over white people or to deny white people their chance, but we're saying that just giving the Negro an equal break is not enough.
I wonder, gentlemen, if you're in asking for this special break, you're not asking for a special break for the nation rather than just for the Negro.
Oh, indeed. Look, if this country, they don't solve the human rights problem of the Negro.
Right.
The manpower problem.
This country morally is sunk. Absolutely.
Well, what about the practical manpower? Resources.
They've been suffering from manpower all along, and I anticipate what Jim's going to say. Not only morally sunk, but they'll be sunk.
They'll be sunk economically, too.
Economically, politically, and morally.
The President's Council of Economic Advisors said some months ago that discrimination in jobs against Negroes costs the country something like $13 billion a year.
If you gentlemen are correct that it cannot survive without instituting justice, is it possible that the society will choose not to survive rather than to...
Not consciously.
Well,
no, I seem to sense that increasingly more people are beginning to see integration as an opportunity and not just a problem. The fact
are these only articulate people, though? Are these only the people to whom you talk? What about the masses of American whites? Could it be that they are so conditioned to hate Negroes that they would rather see the society go under rather than to provide?
Well, I don't think politicians might articulate.
No, the average white person in this country doesn't want to see his country go under rather than give a fair deal to the Negro. He believes in a fair deal, but he also wants to protect himself and his job, and I don't blame him.
I have read a number of writers on this, and the most eloquent of the writers seem to me to be Mr. Baldwin. And if I read underneath his lines, there seems to be deep sense that maybe the American white man is not prepared for survival and justice. But as I listen to you, gentlemen, talk, you do seem much more optimistic than this, Jim.
Well, Kenneth, I would not go so far as to say that the American white man is prepared not to survive in order to avoid giving Negroes equal rights. But I will say that I would not be prepared at the moment to put our cause to a general referendum in this country.
No.
I don't think we'd win it.
I don't think civil rights are negotiable.
I think I could almost predict what the figure would be.
Of course.
2-1 against you.
I'm sure it would be.
Well, isn't it true that we're grappling with a problem that constantly emerges in history, that you have a few people who are crusaders in the right direction. You always have a few people who are crusaders in the wrong direction. And the vast majority are out there in the middle somewhere, with a great deal of apathy and complacency. And I think we have this in our country today. The vast majority of people are not active integrationists or active segregationists. They are passive adherents to the status quo.
But
and
they
I
have
think
been
the
socialized
job,
in a society in which racism is dominant.
I agree. And I think the job here is for the creative minority
Don't you just love
to
it?
work on this large group, because I think these people are pliable to the legitimate and just demands of the Negro. And I do not choose to follow the path of despair, because I think that there is a way out, even though we do have to face the problems that have developed and the conditioning that has developed as a result of this problem existing a long time. But I do think there is a way out, and I think that with the creative minority standing up with determination to solve this problem, we can solve it.
Whenever the American people have been faced with a crisis, they've come through. Now, they may have come through in ragged and bloody fashion, but they've come through. And I'm convinced that they'll come through this one, even though it involves very deep-seated emotions. I think they're going to solve it.
I've always had the feeling that one of the major problems was that the average white citizen somehow drew a correlation between status and exclusiveness, and in many cases, racial exclusiveness, so that the more exclusive the neighborhood, the school, the place of employment, the higher his status. Now, I think...
But he's been taught not to like you either.
Yes, but now...
because of the color of your skin.
Yes, but now he must be taught that this is a sign of his basic insecurity. That for years, as Baldwin put it, he has had a reason, a need to feel superior. Now we must change the norm and get people to understand that it is insecurity that makes you want to take advantage and to hate. That only the secure people now can move toward inclusiveness. It is the more intelligent, the more mature people who want this kind of thing, and only the tragically insecure need today to surround themselves with sameness.
Gentlemen, I certainly want to thank you for what certainly is the most stimulating and to me quite instructive discussion. I think that America is indeed fortunate to have men of your breadth, your perspective, your sense of responsibility and intelligence as the leaders of probably the most significant social revolution since the 18th century. It certainly is my personal opinion that you five men are the contemporary versions of our founding fathers who risked so much and dared so much for freedom and liberty.
Fire 3 warning shots in a man. One took his watch and one took his ring. I tell you something, war is not a nice thing.
What can I say? What can I say? Johnny, tell them again. Why, I tell you, Lines are open on 0203-289-6504.
Mr. Politician, you're sitting in your mansion, planning our lives away. Taking the life of an innocent man who never joined a party, never even cared to vote. Then you send out your Babylon pen, shooting first and ask questions after. Just the other day I saw Babylon fire 3 warning shots in a man. One took his watch and one took his ring. Tell you something, war is not a nice thing. How do you feel, Mr. Politician? You're sitting in your mansion, planning your corruption. Oh, am I asking you now? Am I asking you, saying that? How do you feel, Mr. Politician? You're sitting in your mansion, planning our lives away, away. And you're planning your corruption. I say you're sitting in your mansion.
You think say it done yet? You think we done yet? No, sirree. We haven't even started yet. Look at that. Look at that. Ancestral voices. Voices of those. The majority of them are past now. Taken from us, some of them. Taken from us. They sat around the table and they were discussing the issues of the day, 1963. That is 61 years ago. Because I know I can do the map do it quick because I was born in 1962. Yeah? So anyhow, 61 years ago, right? And they were discussing the issues, what they were facing, and what their plan of actions were to be at the time. Not too dissimilar to the actions that we take even today. Even today, we still emulate some of the actions what they had put as a black print for us. Marcus Messiah Garvey. In the month of Marcus Messiah Garvey, let's bring him into the mix as well. That he set out plans of action for his time, even as he discussed the state of the nations as he saw it, and liberation that was necessary as a man, self-taught, self-educated, and he saw and realized the freedom that was a gift to each and every one of we. Freedom, liberation, but each step of the way, every step of the way, he was fought. And even today, we get a resistance. And some of us don't even want to approach the fence, don't even want to approach the wall, let alone scale the wall, find a way to go through or under or around. Some of us are in fear. Some of us are petrified. Petrified. In other words, frozen in stone. And for those who are there and saying, look, I have a plan how we can get beyond this wall. Yes, sir. I have a plan. Some of those who are on the other side of the wall are saying, come, come, come. But yet, the majority of us are petrified. Some of us are not even looking towards the wall of liberation. Galaxy family, we need to fix up, man. We need to really fix up here, sir. Right? And let me tell you something as well. There are many a process that is being happening right now that many of us are part of. Educational programs, supportive programs, work programs, right? Health programs. There are many of us who are in those places there. And what I would say to you as well is that you really need to get on board, because it's survival play. We are on survival mode right now. We're on survival mode right now. I know there was a time, right, that there was a spate of movies that was released, right? They call it the blaxploitation. The blaxploitation. In other words, people were exploiting the black genre, right? Different movies that depicted black people in a certain way, hustling to survive, right? So, in other words, the only way that a person could get to riches and wealth would be to hustle. Yeah, they had to be smart, intelligent, how they could operate outside of the system. So when we're talking about operating outside of a system, do you see that the system is actually opening its arms, welcoming you to say, yes, you're part of this now. You're part of this. So therefore, we can all be wealthy together. As one man sit down, two man sit down, three man, irrespective of where you come from, you all have the equal rights. You all have the equal opportunities. You all have the non-discriminatory results that you require for you to get on in life. Each one of you have that opportunity. Can you imagine that now? Can you really imagine that? That every one of you have the equal opportunity to get on in life. This is why it's important that we do possess even the basics of exactly what is happening for us and how to get through life for each one of us. We're supposed to have our pieces of the game board in place, right? Because we know, say, if one piece is missing, then what? everything collapse, right? Because it's causing more stress on the next one and the next one, and then the whole thing go on, the whole thing collapse, right? If it collapses, then who are we to blame? Who are we to blame? We have too many fallen soldiers, too many broken souls. We have the whole of the sea littered with the bones of those who are given their lives and their lives are taken. We have the whole of the sea that has got the bones of all of our people right across there. And yet, there are still those who are sitting around Yasso. They sit around Yasso and telling you, say, oh, it's too difficult. It's too hard. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can't read. Oh, and let me tell you something. Let me raise everybody who has given their life for you to be where you are right to this day. Let me raise them up. Put them right in front of you. And you look at them in the eye and tell them that, I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm too tired. I'm too tired to do this. Let me raise them up. Raise them up. Let them look you straight in the eye. Let me see you tell them that it's not worth it. When they were dragged out of their beds, tortured, burnt, hung. When they were poisoned with the chemicals that others have given to them about its medicine and vaccination. And then they've killed their children right in front of them. But they're vaccinating them in schools. The ones who are given birth and the child miraculously just dies, stillbirth. And then they are no longer able to reproduce another child. Don't you ever turn around to them and say, I cannot. We have to step forward. Good afternoon, my brother.
Yes, good afternoon, brother Aspen. Yeah, man, the man who is, I mean not say if nobody even not call you, you can reason up yourself and you make everything happen.
There's too much to talk about, brother.
I tell you what, even in my sleep, I can find out things that coming for me to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Even in your sleep, no rest, boy, because too much in the world, Brady. I mean, when you just talk about the children that now these days, you see the new one now these people have come up with? Did you add it in the news, the new one that they have come up with?
What is the one they brought now?
where they call something global. It's a global pox, something like that in Africa, which is like they say people them like from Congo who get it, so they're giving them this vaccine now. With the pandemic thing that almost coming now.
Yes. Yeah. And they've and look on this. Let me just give you a little piece of line up on how I see it. Right. This is my perspective. Right.
Yeah.
And I emphasize, right, because I'm on YouTube and I'm on the Facebook as well. I emphasize this is my perception. Okay. Right. It's funny how the coronavirus thing started within the Asias, the China, yeah, right. Then it came to Europe, right.
Yeah.
It never went to nowhere in Africa, never went to nowhere in the Caribbean or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. And then eventually, because of the interaction with said persons from those regions, it started to spread in those areas, right? But it wasn't to the extent of what the Europeans were experiencing or anything like this. Yeah? Although they implemented a global closure, right? Watch out now. Now that they've got it re-rising again, they're not even putting it in the news. They're not even putting it into the news, right? But it has re-risen itself again, right? As they had already said it would do, okay? Because it's a weapon of mass destruction. But because it has raised and started itself in Africa now. It's not that important. It's not that important. It's not that important.
Yeah. My brother, I know maybe you might use that word said it's not, but yeah, it was on maybe it's not on this news or whatever it is, but even the message come to even like when you say you send them news emergency or whatever it is, come to my phone and it just show me that this is what they said. It's a global thing and it's more serious than the other virus they must think about. And even I was watching a news channel even yesterday, and I saw it come there, and you can see this black man who is our ruler them or so-called the project manager them in Africa, because you get like Ghanaian one as well who have done, but this now is like in the west part of Africa, is concentrate where you talk about Congolese, them with the actually allies on the news, coming down to Central Africa, right? But then I can see the games these people playing. And we go and encourage the vaccine, right? This is how they work their project. And this vaccine is the poison of the thing which they're trying to say. And they say this is more serious than even when we talk about the Ebola or what and so on.
Of course.
So they need to do, because about how many thousands or what people who they said have died from it now, right? Yeah, which is not escalating, but they bring it that way after they have done this killing. So now they start to begin to rise it up, bring to our attention. This is how it goes. So yes, just as to say, it was there, it wasn't heavily on the news, but then after some time now, they begin to bring that now to our own light to see what is happening when they have caused all the damage that they have done. It's just like when you're talking about the Israeli and the Gaza people, what happened? They didn't say how the Israeli were capturing the people and kidnapping them and pull. But then when that one did something to counteract that now, they start now to say, they didn't tell you the proper news. They say, it's the people, the Hamas, who went and captured their people and kidnapped, not knowing that the Israeli were capturing, kidnapping people so many times and going to keep them in their prison and kill them and whatever it is. So they were just finding grounds for them to come up with them things here. So this is how it happened again in what is happening. But the point I'm trying to bring, we encouraging these people them to be coming with it vaccine to it. I don't know why our so-called project managers them they keep sleeping and allowing these people them to be killing us so much in Mama Africa. I don't know why they're doing these things them. Because they're concentrating now on the young ones them, since they haven't got young and they know that Africa get the youngest and so on. Yeah, man, when you listen and you go into the scripture and all these kind of things, and they say the young ones them as well, I was saying it like I'm just shaking my head. Oh no. You understand? Because I know the games them these people are playing. I know what they're doing.
Yeah, and you know what? Even though we can see it, we may say it as well. What we're seeing, but unfortunately, it's like you're barking in the wind. Yeah, nobody is seeing the full extent of what's going to happen. Right? Why? Because people are walking around like zombies. They're walking around like zombies. They have no connection. Even if you notice, Brother Julius, even when you're walking if you're walking on the street, right, and you set yourself a straight path to just walk on the street.
Yeah.
People will walk straight into you, and they say, "Oh, I never see you. Oh, I didn't see you there," and you know. And yet you are walking in a straight path, but they just have they pay no attention in any way whatsoever, right? And even more so, the young people, they're not even looking at each other. They don't look at each other. They don't acknowledge each other or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Their head is always just down. Their head is down. I mean,
of course, because if they look one another or whatever it is, the next thing is a commotion coming there. Say, boy, who you look at?
Yeah.
Or they send their different language, which they themselves understand, so they avoid it.
And what a shame. What a shame. Yeah. Where is the pride?
Yeah.
Where is the pride? Yeah. Where is the energy?
Yeah.
Where?
That one have been lost. The system we live in here, take it, and even this is the same system, we're not taking which is in the Caribbean, in Mama Africa, because when we got the French and the English, and we got the most part them on, some are just as Mama knows, some are Anglophone, some are Francophone. It's the same ideology them all penetrating in. Right? That English one, the French one, the same ideology, how to destroy and work on these people daily and so on. Yeah? Right. But, my man, I don't know whether when it comes to this media system, whether that's where the thing is failing and so on. Because these people should have this information, say, from the time of the coronavirus, that message has gone out. Right? They look it at YouTube and everything. Why are these people allowing vaccine from them people here to go to Africa or to go to the the African people wherever they are? Why are they allowing it after these people are killing them? Why in here as well? If our people go there, after hearing such message that most of the African ladies who go to the hospital, they kill them all and their babies them as well. Why are you still going around to these people? Why can't you just say, you know what, I'd rather die myself because you won't heal me? Why are these people encouraging these things, my man? Look, last night when I get this information, I shed tears. Yes, for failing to understand. Because even me here, I said to myself, even if my knee is shifting from one side to another, they will never see me under the knife. My brother, I'd rather die with that kind of things there. You understand?
What?
And me not working with no misinformation and things there,
This
is what it is. You're not going to trick me. I'll tell you what happened again. I can give you a story. I was reading something, right, which come on, I was around the Google side. So I was reading something there, which is one of the, the name for it. Okay, there. So when I was reading it, right, they wrote the message in like the Nigerian broken English. And I went there. I think that's where this woman was living. I mean, she looked like a Chinese woman or whatever. This is two different stories, them, right? Yeah, I will give you the second one. This woman, I was called, she used to have long legs, right? But she found out that the legs, them, not right, but she loved that long legs. See how much these people have got us into so many rubbish things, them will begin to destroy our own self. So, she got she wants to do what they call leg extension.
Oh yeah.
She come to this country called England. They come and broke her real leg, do surgery on her, and then she got like an iron which they try to connect and what they said as time goes on, that thing will join itself and so on. And the woman said her leg was like they were roasting the leg inside. And she's trying to sue them now. But what kind of stupidity is that for you to go and do these things?
Yeah. I've heard of people who's doing this. I've seen a few reports of people who do this. They want to be over 6 foot or something like this, you know. And it's a condition. It is a condition within their heads that they see that they need to do.
They lost their mind, my brother. Why is it these people put their trust on these people them who are just there just to kill them, just to use them as a sacrifice for their, which is the sacrificial lamb they're talking about, is human being, and especially they're using people there. But that woman who come to do that was like a Chinese or Korean or somebody who was living in
listen,
so it's not actually a black woman.
You have people all over the world what comes to do those things, right? That they want to be taller, right? You know, and things like this. Oh yeah. The mind is one of those conundrums that, unfortunately, if you want to do something, and I'll tell you, there's another one, right? And I know it's going to sound savage, but you know what? It's a Blacknificent show. But there are some people who want to just cut their limbs off, like they want to cut their arm off or something, or their hand off. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you now, there are doctors and everything that will say, okay, then I will do that surgery for you. You understand? And they will just amputate it for them, you know, right? But it is a mental sickness. It is a mental sickness in them ways there, you know.
Of course, yeah. So, my brother, there are so many things which we have been disturbed and destroyed. They have destroyed our mind and so many things there. But it's for us to get our mind. And what I'm saying, we need this greatest entity, right? We need something even other than YouTube, but something which look like YouTube, so that our people, this thing can be spreading. Because yes, there are some who don't listen, there are some who don't hear. I mean, you might find out maybe get majority listening to their music, their dancehall program, they're stuck on these things there. So they're not even enlightening themselves and get of what is going on. That even the murderer will be next door to them. They don't even know. Maybe I would have come and say, hey, you know, there is a neighbor there who is a murderer and everything, but he or she can't listen to information all the time. They are in a different thing, thinking about material life, thinking about these things there, right? Because that person who go and extend their leg, that lady, it's not for material life. How they think, oh yeah, men like long legs or whatever it is, and so on. And then she go and destroy her own self.
Yeah.
Yeah, this materialistic life has disturbed. This is where we have to come off.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that makes these things, like with plastic surgery and all them type of foolishness. They're out there, and they're making their body augmentations, Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it all the time. They're doing it all the time, right?
Yeah, man, they put in silicon
for
even
people,
in their backside,
that's
silicon
right.
and everything to make them look like the bomb is a big to look like a proper African woman who get. Yeah, they're doing all these things. They go to Turkey, they do all this kind of nonsense, and the people are just taking their money because the next moment you see them. After they've done all their plastic surgery and the next moment you see them, they're melting away. This is what happened to like somebody who was, like Michael Jackson that thing was showing in them time. After you done all them things that you feel and everything just melt away, fall apart. Yeah. I was having one of my neighbor. The neighbor went and it's a Scottish woman, went and do a knee replacement. And the woman, the next time I see the woman was crying. The woman said, boy, my knee was falling down and everything. They have to take her back to hospital. I doubt she's not dead yet. You know? Yeah, because she moved away. Because they put their trust in these white men, right? And these people, the only thing we they know is to kill, right? That's why they make nuclear bomb, this, that, shoot. That is their own. That's their own sacrifice. Human being. Once they kill as much as how many human beings, starve you, and all these sort of things, that is their own things. We give them what they have to get. This is how they work the thing. You see? And we have to be realizing these things then. They're not, you think they like you? If they like the African, the African need infrastructure. Yeah, the Caribbean need infrastructure. Go and build this thing them. Don't come and give me medicine, then I live in wretched things and whatever it is, so-called medicine, because I'm dying and then you leave me in this mess. So go and do this. These people get a lot of the things that which is our own technology, but they take it from us, just like the mobile phone me and you talking on now, the computer. It's our own technology. But what they did, they come with paper, with the fooling us with. That's why we know we can develop our own self. Because if we forget, we live this materialistic for capture, grab things so much, right? All the time we want for ourselves money for myself. I live in this big mansion. Oh, if I go to America, I sell this, or I give them this knowledge. I go to Europe, I will get, and it's not even benefiting you. But when you come here, they give you that house, you live there, whatever. They're taxing you on all these sort of things there. So you will ask yourself, say, boy, is this thing what for? Does it what really? Why can't you live it in Africa?
This is the thing. I mean, like even for how the system is structured, right? You will never ever escape from the boundary of you will have to be paying them a lifetime, right? And remember, even the way how they treat their own, a person could be extremely wealthy one day and they make one mistake and then all of a sudden their life collapse. Do they go around and say, let me help you? Let me help? No, they don't. They don't help nobody. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't help nobody at all. Right? So
yes, my brother.
So why should we be expecting any assistance and help from a system that doesn't even help its own people? Look how the way how they treat their own soldier them. Right?
Yeah.
Right? The man is out there like how you see all of them boy they run up and down street now. Right? You see all them running up and down street about England. They should creep them up.
Yeah.
Create them up and put them into the army and the navy and all them things. They go, yeah, you want to fight for England? Come. Let me show you. Go fight for England. And then when they finish with them, they just dash them out on the street. Let them go crawl up in a gutter to rock stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's a destructive system we live in. We are fighting to let our head just be above the water, but all that is happening for us, right, is we're falling daily. We're falling because why? We live in a system. We doesn't care for no one. That's why you think they want. I mean, even like conservative, the last time they don't want to come out of the old thing. Look, Donald Trump. He get all the money. He don't want to come out of it. He still want to go and sit in the system. Because they know when they're in that system properly, they can use and abuse anything. You understand? That's why the man is a rapist, right? The man is a rioter. Because the thing that happened in America, the man is a murderer. Because the thing that happened in America, seeing a policeman putting his foot on a black man's neck, instead of that, he turned his face somewhere else and leave. He's just waiting to come there and get the man out of prison. All these kind of things there. So you see the system that we live in. We live in a system where the people are murderers, are rapists and everything, and they are allowed to. But if Johnson was there and tell us to go inside our house, even some of us can't even bury our people when the people die or whatever it is. They kill them all. You can't go and bury your people and so on. You can't even open your shop to eat a bit or whatever it is. They say pandemic. But they were partying there. He went and get baby. The other one was making love on top of table and all this sort of thing. So are we going to be clever enough or open our mind and our brain say, these people are just freaking us daily?
Listen,
they're not freaking us, but it's like we're falling asleep.
It's like a comedy show. It's like a big comedy show, yeah? You understand? The system leaders are like a big comedy show right now. Yeah. Right? There's no integrity in any way whatsoever within any of them. Yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
So basically, even if you had somebody there who had morals, right? Who would say, you know what, I'm not getting involved in no war. What did they do? They turn around and call him anti-Semitic, right?
Oh yeah.
They call that's what they do. They turn around and call him an anti-Semitic so that they can get rid of him. Why? Because he was not interested in no war business. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they mash him up to the extent of that. He's still representing his local constituents, right?
Yeah.
But will he be the leader of the party again? Who knows?
No.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because they have already destroyed you. But look, they show you, even that is an example. They show you what they do on us daily before they just give them a little bit. They criminalize you.
Exactly.
So that anytime you open your mouth, you can't go. Look, we are talking things right now on this station, right? LBC will be talking the same like us and even talking more than us, different things. Their racist channel will be talking something like us and even more than us. You understand?
Oh yeah.
But did they try to lock up them down?
No.
Did they try to close their station?
No. But they will close mine.
Instead of that, they inviting the leaders they come and question them in the station.
They will close my one. They will close my commentary though. My little one commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close it.
And you're not speaking on the radio now to go and riot them.
No.
We try to appreciate our people so that even we're helping them in America, them in Britain, them in Europe, by getting our people to know something or what they know. Let them take it to Mama Africa. We show them people we each one teach each one something, the history, so that we can go and develop things of ourselves, right? They don't even need to tell us to go home. All we're telling them, give us our reparation, give us the things and take all your soldiers, even them boys, the more rioting, give them the tractor and the forklift let them go to Mama Africa and do this construction, everything that you break out of us. That's all we're asking them for and everything. What is bad in that? We didn't tell them we're coming to shoot you lot or whatever.
Exactly.
So we don't know even why they like to come and tamper with the station or some of our own people who help them to go. Because why? They have gone stupid with just monetary thing in their head, which is not going to last them. They will fall and dead even unless that paper. It's not doing work for them. You know? Yeah. This is what some of them people forget. The queen never, their so-called queen never take the diamond and gold away.
Exactly. She never declared any apology or anything like that. Yeah. She wasn't apologizing for nothing. Yeah?
Yeah. And she was having the big mic. The biggest mic is what they are having at that royal award.
Right.
So
I'm sure that the current king will not be making any statement in them way either. Yeah?
Yeah.
He won't be making that
the biggest
statement.
mic. Then you mean if that man get post-stress cancer, I have to go and sit and cry for him? Like what some of the people do say, we child, this cancer. Me go and cry for what? You know how many people who make your child and them people here, I'm sitting, just eating on the biggest table, eating the biggest lamb, the biggest what, everything. And then look at me. They have killed all my people. Look at my people. They go and take everything they have to take. They take it all over Africa. South Africa is not the only one. It's just that side, they populate there more. Right? But all over Africa, these people here go and extract and take things for them own self. The French do it, the British do it, the Americans do it as well. Take infrastructure, right? Let us go and do the thing and repatriate people right? They did it in Sierra Leone. The first people with the return, which was in Freetown, they returned people who want to be a returnee. So Freetown was built round for these people, so they can still do the same. You see? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, my brother, watch out now. We have to be very serious about doing them things there, right? When okay, then we gather together. We gather together on the 1st of Mosiah. Our initial intention is to get reparations, right? Part of the reparations is obviously a freedom from the system, right? Independency, right? Whether you call it sovereignty or whatever, right? That is what the part of the reparations is, right? Part of the reparations process, yeah. But how many of us are dedicated enough to go and say, you know something? In the next 6 months, or the next six years, I am planning to leave this thing, yes, sir, whether I get reparations or not. How many of us have got that plan in line, right? You understand? And we have to be very, very serious about our convictions now, right? In other words, your word is your bond. Yeah? Don't go be talking about something that you're not going to be doing for yourself. Yeah? Don't be signing petition for this and petition for that, and it's not in line with you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Just because it has a soundbite or a piece of this, a piece of that. Find out what these things are all about. What is their future plan? If that failed, what's their next plan of action? Are you going to be on board with that next plan of action? Yeah? You understand?
I'm talking about that petition and so on, my brother. We have to put this thing on real paper. Like the time when we do the match, the security man at the Westminster there will come and give him the envelope. Hey, look, just pass it over to the Prime Minister there. So this, you understand? Some kind of thing, we'll get a photocopy of what we did and everything. Give it to them. You understand? Let them know that, because maybe you just see we come with match to beat and they say reparation, you see flag and everything. You take we very unserious. So yeah, man, we want from meat. You understand? Because we got some of our idiot MP them more around, who like Diane Abbott, who was there, who is one of the descendants of them people them there, right? That's what it is. You should be passing a letter and say, hey, my people say to give you this letter, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're supposed
that man calling himself Lamine, them all should be passing this letter to them. Say, hey, I'm just a messenger. They say to give you this letter. What is wrong with that?
Exactly. We should all be sending a letter to all of our politicians and all of our councillors right across, the mayors. Everybody's supposed to receive a letter at the same time. Yeah? Right? Let the postman back Brock with the amount of letters that they're supposed to be receiving right now. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
and make a stance within the community that's going to affect them. So even if it's as simple as bus boycott, you know what? For this month, I'm not using your bus for this month. Yeah. You understand? All them type of thing there. You understand?
Yes,
Right?
my brother.
Right? Or
Because
I'm not.
Them need to get this seriously in their bones.
That's right.
To say, right, it has to be announced inside the parliament.
Mm.
They say, wow, them people them who we see is their repression. Because this is what I'm saying.
Mm.
Look, if my brother, right, for example, here, and them people here, after what they have disturbed we with, you understand? Take we to the Afrobian, right? And leave us there and everything without no counseling. And then, right, which they leave us now because this is the same they do in Haiti, right? It's not the bloke them who get the guns them, but you get the one them who come, who is the gangmaster, white man them come with the shit and give the people them the guns. And then they use this gun to begin set one against another.
That's right.
You understand? This is what is happening. This is what is happening, like when you say them trouble in like the one which happening like in Clarendon the other time or whatever. Where they say they're looking. Because look, this is how they use their formula to destabilize every place. This is the same formula they use in Africa in the original time when people were saying, "Oh, we fight against one another," right? In order, and in the same situation. They're doing evil all over. Destabilize them, just bring gun around them, set one another against each other. They do it in Sudan as well, which we see. Because if you can find out when you look, you see more black man than whatever it is. But you get this Sharia law and the Arab them leader or whatever it is come with gun and say, hey, look, this part is what you get. Fool them with this little dollar or pounds or whatever it is. And then this is it. You destabilize them. That's what they stop here. When the riot was on, they tried to stop that because the economy was going, even the stock market was going down. Them few days then when the riot was happening, exactly. It was even on news.
Exactly. And that is the type of thing that we need to be effective in, right? Because like even for what like the actions that we've had in our local area, like here in the Lewisham and Peckham, right? When we've made demonstrations and shown our discontent with some of the local businesses around here, right? And the disruptiveness to that business may not be that much, but to the general, in that way, in the general businesses, all of them turn around and say, boy, you better fix up, they're the ones was telling him, you better stop. Yeah. And that's what we have to do. We have to be effective. We have to be effective. Right? Because even now, I still go past that business and I just look and see who's in there. Right? You understand? I still look and see who's in there. Right? Make sure them know say that we're still watching you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look, I met some brother them around as a sister today. When them people here were going with the riot, but the riot are finished. Yeah, man, and them brother they are serious, rude boy, bad boy, them or whatever it is. Yeah, man, them tell one straight away, say, no, man, they're doing it, but they won't come down here. They won't come down there. And they know. They know. So, well, certain place, them boy, we have to just easy that or whatever it is because it will be more devastated than what we see now. All them kind of things. So, not that they don't know, so that's why they try as best as possible to say, hey, stop. Don't begin to come near some place. They try to stop them from here. Understand? And they use all their formula, counteract it. Using their own people, what they call it, anti-demonstrate or whatever it is, they want them all say, hey, we love the people in here. It's not we them love. It's their economy they love. Right. You think it's us? No way. Because first of all, if I go to my neighbor now, who is a white man or whatever it is, I go and ask, say, please, I want this rice or I want whatever it is. They will just laugh at me because what happened is egg even they fry. They fry their egg and eat. So who am I now to come and ask for rice or the nice meat or whatever it is and so on? They won't even give me their fried egg. You know? Yeah, for sure say they know, but they can laugh with me. It's just like some of those people who I see, who are our brothers, them and sisters, who think, say, wow, the white man love them and everything. Yeah, because of this, like when they say, okay, the Caribbean food, Jamaican food, rice and peas and this and that. Yeah, man, they love whatever. No, it's not you they love. My brother and sister, they love the food because they can do it. So you have to have these things them in your mind, because if them love you as much, you would have seen more development. You would have seen more education. You don't even need to come here to bring your skill here. Your doctors, your nurse, and everything. And some come and do the rubbish bin and do all this rubbish collector and all these sort of things. Them, even if you are qualified, right? You end up being that. The distinguish between them and you. I listened to a program recently. The man have PhD. Yeah, it's an Englishman. I think 2 days ago I was listening in their station, and the man they were talking about this the degree, and the man phoned. It's a white man. He said, "Look, he said I've got a PhD." He said, "But I tell you what, when I left that university or whatever it is, I went to find a job. I couldn't get a job there. Even I don't even know what to do. How I'm doing it." He said, because the PhD was not. He said, it's unless when I actually went inside that work, that the people them around show me what to do or whatever it is, I begin to find the balance and whatever it is to reach to the point. He said, but really, my PhD was nothing.
Nothing.
This is a white man explaining.
Yeah, it's not. It was like a waste of time in studying them things there because it had no practical use.
Yeah. You see, that's why we, just like when we say each one teaches one, we get our creativity in us. Where somebody can look at this machine, it build that motorcycle, it come back, it go to the engineer thing, it be like the other day I'm talking to a bloke and everything. Said the car, which and what the person said to change the whole engine. Right? And being an engine. I said, no, man, no worry with them kind of things. We can dismantle that, we'll get the engine off, we'll find what come of that engine. Because this is what we know.
Yeah.
We can build that engine back, the same engine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is how they con us here, and we keep buying their new cars, their new this, their new that. Once we get all these things, that means we can build a new car in an engine. We have what we call panel beater. Right? We did the same industrial revolution thing they were talking about when they have those people in Jamaica. Yes, it was true, but they were taken from the central and the west, the Central Africa. They will begin to understand that kind of thing, Central Africa and all this kind of thing. They were taken from Africa and bring over there, and then these people get their skills in them. So they were developing all this metal and all these sort of things there. So even as I told you that Freetown, Sierra Leone was the place where the returning were, they were having goldsmiths, people they were having panel beater, they were having their Frobe College, right? The lockout, which was the same. So most of them things there, you was having skillful people in that time. And that's why the country was booming.
Yeah, I know, because
people have their
was
natural skills in them.
I know that because I was one of them panel beater and vehicle builder and all them things there when I did my apprenticeship. Yeah. Hold on, let me bring in Brother Akram in this talk here. Brother Akram, great.
Yes, my brother. Yes.
Yeah, well.
Rising to Brother Austin and Grand Rising to Brother Judith, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and Grand Rising to the Galaxy family. All listeners on the Galaxy family, Grand Rising to you all. Interesting deliberations. we have to look at the situation that we're in, and it is vitally important. But at the same time, we have to study how do we move on from here. You know, these problems are there, but the thing is, how do we move on? You know, and when I study the situation in Africa, and one of the questions which I ask is, you know, because people are saying, well, oh, this body do this and this body do that, but look at what the Sahel countries have done, you know, and you know, they just they came in and decided, look, this is our land, and we have the right to be controlling it, and I don't have to ask anybody for permission to take this land. You know, this land belongs to the people of Mali. This land belongs to the people of Niger, and this land belongs to the people of Burkina Faso. Why do I have to ask the United Nations or France or anybody for, you know, for the control of this land and what the people should be benefiting from, right? I mean, the fact is, you cannot go to America and say, "Oh, we want to do
I was about to say that. I was about to say that as well. I was about to say which part did we do any land grabbing at them place there? Yeah?
Exactly. You know, we can't go and tell them how to run their land and what they should do with their land and so forth. But they feel that they have the right to be doing this to our place. And this is where I'm saying that, you know, our people who are sold out. And I was listening to a thing with Brother Trattori, and he's talking about these African puppets. I mean, the guy, he's really sound in his thing with his, you know, and he's explaining why is it our leaders are doing this? Why have we been in this state for so long? We didn't have to be in that state. And that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, the Europeans have done some bad things, but we have to look at the state that our own people have put us into. And, you know, because they don't have to lay down in bed with those people. You understand? They don't have to. To tell them, get lost, this is my country, and I'm the president here. I cannot come to England and tell you how to run your country. So why should you?
Some of them have had the bravery to stand up and say that to them.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. And the ones who have the bravery, I mean, many. It's our own people who go and take them out. I mean, you know, the audacity of the ECOWAS countries, when the, you know, Burkina Faso and Nigeria, is to tell them, no, we're coming to invade you. You must go back to. I'm saying, what? What? You know, and it's a good thing that the Trattorian is brave enough to stand up and say, well, come now. Come, let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? Right? We're not going to bow to your stupidity. You know, and I'm glad to see that Africa is rising in this way. When I look at Indonesia, I mean, as I said, these people are giving a lot of false information about who's got this economic power and so forth. And when I look at Indonesia is just a land with natural resources and other things like Nigeria and things like that, right? But the fact is, Indonesia is twice the size of Nigeria, more than twice the size of Nigeria. But the fact is, it doesn't have the wealth thing as Nigeria, but yet still, it is richer than England. Same point, right? Indonesia is working on over $4 trillion economy. I mean, 4 trillion. England is still only just over 3.5, just at 3.5. You see what I'm saying, right? So if places like Indonesia can rise, why can't African countries rise? And
well, I mean, like the practicality of that is, you know what the practicality of that is, right? Is that the global system economically has been set to hold down those that do not serve them, right? And since they have conquered most of the African continent with deception and underhand business, they are keeping them in that way. That way. So, in other words, the only way that they're going to break free is literally to have a war of mass destruction in one way or another, right? That's the only way that they're going to break free, right? Because that is the only language that system recognizes and realizes, right? So therefore, in one way or another, they will not be the root of let's have equality and all them things there. They will never ever submit to that, never. And if anybody brings up some rule or offer of equality, you said, yes, okay, we'll have equality just as long as we can be in charge for the last like 2,000 years, like how you lot have tried to impose upon us. Yeah? About you're going to put this JC in charge and take over and everything. So here's our 2,000 years. So come back in 2,000 years and we talk about it again. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what as I said to you, I mean, that's what I was asking the brothers last night about the situation of living in Africa. Because as I said, I was saying last night, I look at the situation, right? I've been to New York, I've been to Paris, I lived in London, I've been to Miami, I've been to you call it that country, that place in the West Palm, San Francisco. And I'm saying, what is it that they have that I cannot have, that we cannot have in Africa? What is it? We can build any one of those cities in Africa. Right? We can build any of those cities in Africa. So, I mean, I just looked at something and it says, Andrew Holness have a place in Beverly Hills. Why you want to go to Beverly Hills?
Of course he has. Come on now.
I mean, I met some young Nigerians many years ago. Young Nigerians, they're in late, early 20s, whatever. And, I was talking with them. I asked them where they live. Beverly Hills. I said, what? Why do you need to go to Beverly Hills? Africa is so huge. Yeah? Why didn't you go and set up properties in Botswana? So, or anywhere else in Africa, you want to go to Beverly Hills? What is so precious about Beverly Hills? You understand what I'm saying? Right? And this is how our people are dumbed down, right? You understand what I'm saying? Right? You dumbed down, I mean, I'm telling you, we're really land is in abundance in Africa. I mean, if you wanted land in abundance, unlike Mike Tyson and all these people, they could have owned 100, 1,000, 10,000 acres of land with the kind of money that they have. They could buy, and and you know what I'm saying? Land is that much in abundance in Africa. Why you want to go and buy up a little 10-acre place in a Beverly Hills? You know what I'm saying, right?
They will always be within their mindset those who will never ever want peace. They'll never ever want peace, even when they are on the brink of death of their own self. They will always say war. Yeah. No matter what, because you think about it now. You think about this now. When we've had the opportunity to talk about peace, and we're always the ones that always say, let's talk about peace. They've always refused. When we fling buckle after them and everything, and then start cower in a corner. Then they say, oh yeah, all right, then let's talk about peace. Yeah? How can we resolve this now? And then they go back and do the same foolishness again. Yeah? They do the same foolishness again. So in other words, talk time is over. Done. Finish. Yeah? Talking time is finished. We need to set ourselves in a totally independent, liberated manner right now. I've just brought in another caller on 7726. 7726.
Yeah, greetings. I just want to
Greetings.
say, make a quick comment, yeah, if possible.
Yes, King.
First of all, I wanted to agree with the caller. The caller you just had just now,
Brother Akram.
talking about, is it Brother Akram? Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I just want to agree with what he said, 100%. You know, I've also traveled around the world, and when I travel and I see something, I've been to places, I've been to Asia, and I walk through the Chinese gardens, and they're beautiful. But the first thing that I think about is, how can I reproduce that on my land in Africa? You understand what I'm saying? Whereas I find that a lot of people, they will go somewhere, just like Brother Akram was just saying just now, they go somewhere, they will see something nice, and they want to live there and live with the people there, instead of taking the ideas that they find, wherever it may be, back to where they come from in Africa. So I agree with what he was saying about developing Africa, and whatever you want to do it there. You don't need to go live in Miami. You don't need to go live in Beverly Hills. Absolutely right, correct, 100%.
Well, hold on. On that point there, remember, a lot of these people, right, who are living in the Africas, right, they're probably successful in their own right. In other words, that they have the potential to earn monies. They're probably earning good work, monies in their work, right? Their aspirations are to where can I utilize this wealth, right? Because within the African continent as it is there now, right? Their wealth and lifestyle, right, is not catered for probably in the region where they live, right? Yes, there are other regions that are extremely wealthy, right? And they could probably live in those other areas. But when they have that initial impetus of wealth and lifestyle, a lot of it is given through the media. So therefore, that is what their vision is. Their vision is, oh yes, I've got to go to this place, Hollywood. The music and everything else,
that's right.
it's all
Their
Hollywood.
mindset.
That's right.
That mindset has to be changed.
Yeah.
For Africa to develop, that mindset has to be changed.
Absolutely.
But what I phoned in for, you know, that I just thought I'd say that because I just heard Brother Akram talking about it, and it was something that I've always thought about over the years, about going up to live in Monaco and all those crazy places. But anyway, on Tuesday, I was listening to LBC, and they were talking about, you know, that man, the black man that killed the student in Nottingham.
Yeah. He killed three of them.
What's that?
He killed three of them.
That's right. Yeah. They were talking about him.
That's right.
And then what they said, they mentioned that there was a program about him the previous day. I thought, I didn't realize that. So I thought, oh, let me look into it. So yesterday, I thought, let me watch it. So I watched it. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting documentary. And it was kind of different because what they did was they were interviewing his brother and his mum. And the brother and the mum, they had all his notes that they made on him when he was in psychiatric care. And one of the doctors, they wrote down on his notes that this man is a very dangerous man,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll probably end up killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, now the reporter that was interviewing the family, he then took the information about what they've been writing about him, and
Very
he took it to
serious.
like a top psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And the top psychiatrist, he said to the psychiatrist man, he said, how usual is it for a doctor to write this down on somebody's notes?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, in all the time that he's been in the field, he's never come across it before. So the reporter, it was an Asian man, said, well, so that means that for a doctor to write it down, that means that his mental health must have been very, very serious. And the man said, yes, apparently it must have been very serious for a doctor to write it down, because he has never come across that before. So anyway, now fast forward a bit more, and then they said that at one point the man who was mentally ill, he then phones up his caseworkers, and he says to them that he says that he's been lying to them, and he wants to confess. He said that I'm still hearing voices in my head, but I told you that I was getting better because I wanted to come out of the hospital. I didn't want to stay in there anymore. But then he said to the caseworkers that, but don't worry, because the voices I'm hearing, they're good voices, they're good people, and they're arguing with each other. So it wasn't like one person in his head talking. It's a number of them. They're arguing with each other, and they're telling him that he has to be strong, and he has to prove that he's tough, he's hard. But don't worry, because they're good people. They're good people. He said to me. Then he said to them that they're good people. They're clever people. They're police and MI6. I thought, what? I thought, what?
Yeah. Where him get that from? Yeah. Where him get that from?
I thought, what? The police and MI6. I'm thinking, what? I started to think to myself, because obviously he's been arrested a number of times and taken into custody, and they've put him in, and they've let him back out again. That's the thing. They were saying that he was caught a number of times and arrested, and then he was let out without charge. And I'm thinking to myself, were they in there telling him things? What were they doing to him in there?
They're priming him up and everything. Yeah.
It was just something that I was thinking, because that was strange, that they were good people, clever people, police, and MI6. So, whoa, wow. Anyway, I just
no. Listen, my brother, do not underestimate anybody being used as a weapon. Yeah, do not underestimate anybody.
Wow.
Yeah. You understand?
Yeah, that was a bit of an eye opener.
You think about it. If they had a trigger now, this is only theoretical, right? Totally theoretical, right? There's no evidence of it or anything like this. But if they had a trigger system now, right? With all the homeless people in the London area, right? And they had a trigger system to just say, let's just make these people just go mad for one night. Yeah? It'll be a mass slaughter right across the whole of London. Not true.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So like, don't put it past anybody to do anything like that. You know what I mean? Don't put it past anybody to use anything as a weapon, right? And it might not even be them. Might not even be the British system. It might be another system that has infiltrated into society, and they're ready to let off some bomb in it. Yeah.
Yeah, we just never know, isn't it? We just never know. Anyway, I'm done, yeah?
Okay then, Kingman. All right, then. You take care now. Brother Julius, are you still with us?
Yeah, but brother, I mean, has said something there, you know, and as he goes along, I'm thinking about it, and you know, I put nothing past these people, right? I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, a similar situation happened many years ago with a young Muslim guy in Acton, right? And there was a mosque there, and you know, apparently many of the guys who used to go there were people who came out from prison. So the guy was the guy who was staying there. He was trying to reform. Well, not try. He was reforming a lot of people who was in prison, who came out from prison and so forth. You know, because he was on the streets of Hull and you know that area, so he know many of these guys and so forth. And you know, so when he came out, he liaised with them and tried to get them, you know, to come off the drugs and other things like that, right? And I met many of them, and many of them started having families, and you know, very good to their families and things like that. You understand? And there was this group that they always tell them to go to that place because they had their spies there to spy on them. You understand me? You know, because they were watching them from across the building. So they always tell them, because when they come out and they have their tags on them and so forth, they tell them go to this place. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to keep an eye on them. And one time, I think it was he's a Somalian or whatever, one of those guys down there, and he went in, and I think he took the thing off his feet, and he came out disguised as a woman, and he disappeared from them. You understand what I'm saying, right? He disappeared from them, and I think he went back to Somalia or somewhere like that. I think he did. But what I'm just saying is to show you that these people and what they're doing, and the public really don't understand the depth of what these people are doing.
No.
You understand? And from what I understand is that this person, they wanted him to do certain things which he didn't want to do. You understand? And the same thing like committing acts like what the brothers just said there just now. You know what I mean? And he didn't want to do that type of act that they wanted him to do. So it just shows you the mindset of these people, my brother. We can't put anything past them, right? We cannot put anything past them at all.
Nothing at all, right? Because like when I've heard and seen certain things, right? But what people do behind closed doors, let's put it that way, behind closed doors. I don't put nothing past nobody, right? About this is what we do in private and all them thing there. Let me tell you something. The nastiness what go on behind closed doors, right? You would what you hearing in the BBC, that is a regular thing, yeah. That's regular, right? Right? And the corruption within certain societies is a regular thing too. Yeah? Don't ask nobody is it right or wrong? Yeah? They're gonna look at you and laugh. They're gonna say, well, you're in the wrong place if you got to ask them type of questions. You understand? Yeah? Right? So
yes, brother.
There's no let's say they call for morality, but there is no morality. Yeah? There's no morality, man. At all.
Brother Austin.
Yes, Kingman. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, make me just highlight this again, right? Which is a point which my brother bring about that particular mental problem in Nottingham. Look, they did know that bloke was having that problem. Even the family tell them, say, please take control of this boy and all this sort of thing before even that kind of incident happened. But these people, they never even bring that. They were waiting for time to make some big news, just like how you call the BBC, the what, just to make news out of something which they know about all the time. That's the way we remember a bloke come out of prison once, and they know, but they were just following up. In his name now, I think it happened in the maybe 80s to 90s or whatever it is. This bloke went and shoot his girlfriend and so on, and they were chasing him, and he went into the wood and all this sort of thing. Police was following. It's a white bloke.
Yeah.
Right?
And you were shooting up people around the town and all them things there.
Yeah. But he went and shoot, I think, the girlfriend and the boyfriend that the girlfriend was having, which he killed them both together and everything. It's a white bloke. I've forgotten his name. Yeah. But what happened? They know of things them, but they say let it go to make a news out of something. This is how they behave. You know? That's why even when you're talking about mental, that comes to me again where I was saying to brother Dave, the brother in America, when I was suggesting, say, wow, you have to take it to Africa. Because what happened, I was looking some other reading things that which I was doing, but this was happening like in Sierra Leone. That what happened, the chaining, like putting them in handcuff, like what to say, the mental people them, they're locking them in handcuff. That's why I was looking, say, not like my brother has to go or whatever it is, but something like where you go, you ask for this organization or whatever it is, but it's something we not say they have to even, I'm not going to look for money, but where you can connect with the government or whatever it is, because you're working on a mental issue in them cases them which is around. So you yourself have to be looked after. You understand? You and your team, plus the team them which you're going to be making them get this understanding. You understand? Don't like any understanding you get, whether it's the mental things them, whether it's engineering or whatever. But whatever you're going to pass with that team, you get your organization, you get people them who you train. And so, well, this is what you have to do, like that's your psychological method and all this sort of thing, how to deal with the mental or crazy people them. And all these sort of things there, which we can develop ourselves. Because this is what these people don't know. All they know is to let them walking along the road with so many crazy and mental people them. Because why? They didn't organize it properly. You go and meet people. Like the other day, I went inside a shop in Despot Market. I went in there, and then this black boy come inside the shop, and they were following this boy. And then what happened later? He was coming. I thought maybe it's really crazy. Only when I heard him saying to the workers them around, stop following me, stop following me. Then I said, oh, he's going to get his daily beat. You understand? But during that time, he take all the bread them and the cake them on the shelf. He begin to back them, kick them with his hand. Let everything fall on the floor. I said, what? I mean, I was standing there. Then I said, hey, what do you think you do? Yeah, it's me now, the bloke. He didn't get at me or whatever it is, but that's when he went quiet and he's looking at me. He's looking at me. And he said, you understand? Right. Looking at me. But he never make a move. Quietly, myself went quiet and I keep shopping and he walk outside of the shop. You understand what I mean? Right. This kind of thing there. So I think people have to get some way, maybe you might discipline somebody, whatever. But this is what these people don't get. Everything they know is just to kill and disturb and destroy and make news out of it and so on. But they haven't got the way to heal up people them even. This is what they love, right? That's why they come see me and you and help us. That's why we, the African people them, shouldn't follow their system and their method. You know, they go around putting all these skyscraper buildings, right? Like their people come out, which is like prison, they can't put their foot on the floor. Only when they go to work and come up work or go down to buy something in the shop and run up to them building them again. We in Africa, we get so much land that we have to get what they call bungalow. Each one of us can have a bungalow in that particular society in Africa.
Yeah. And you know something, that should be just a standard. That should be standard, right? There should be no homeless. Even in the state of what we are living now, there shouldn't be no homeless people in Africa in them ways there, right? You know, even if you have a standard, even if you are, as you say, a bungalow or something like this, that should be a standard, you know. But the way our people stay, then well, that's all society is holding them. Yeah. How can you be living in a palace and your people are look for shelter underneath tree to rock stone? Yeah.
Can you imagine? Hey, brethren, I sleep on a silk, what they call silk spread. I don't want to sleep on it because me can't even sleep, my brother. Yeah, that thing with the spread. I mean, all that is just noise. Even the pillowcase, it look like silk. I can't even sleep. I just feel this thing disturbing me how to sleep. So this is what it is. Most things that we don't need it. We don't need to follow the footprint of the. You see, this is what putting us in a situation because we get way how we was developing. We get way how we can sleep and wake up. We get way how we build our house and all these sort of things. There, we don't need to look at them. That's why I say people that live in China, in South Korea. Look at how they are building. They have their places where people live and so on. They're not following the West. It happened that is their culture, and they get even their tradition, because this is something that we left most of the time, the tradition of the people, right? You get your culture, but you get your tradition, your way and life that you was living, which makes you happy. You know? That's why I said, like me, Brother Akam is saying, okay, travel to Australia, travel to all them places them here. You see, because first of all these things, they compete from us and destabilize us, not to use or get our own things to use. One thing I can say, right? Me, first of all, when it took me how many years, over about 20 or what years, I mean, because of the situation I was in, I end up being like a Kiara or whatever it is and so on, doesn't permit me to travel them time than where I should have gone, where to go. So one of the first places them which I come to move or go to was in Jamaica. And I was telling somebody today, I said, I will never want to go to any of this white man town them again or county. I will never want to be there. I said, you know how I feel when I went to Jamaica, when I see my own black people there, African people there. You know how my bones feel? And I was living around I was dwelling among the inhabitants of the land. I wasn't there like a tourist. I wasn't there in an hotel. The inhabitants of the land. And I was going through and I'm observing things them. I saw even like when they advertise, I was happy to see that. They advert them. I was seeing this black man them on that advert. Right? Which I would like the same to all African countries should do this thing. When you put your advert around, let it be a black man, not a white man. When you get your national radio, not a white man to go and be there. You take Capital Radio, go there and everything. Let it be a black man. And even when the prime minister, they will get our prime minister, every 1 week or whatever it is, we have to hear their voice on the radio. Let we hear what they're saying so that we know what he has to come and give a little bit of account of certain things that is happening. Not to just sit down there and do certain things there we don't know, and then 5 years come and then we go and vote for them. No, we want to be hearing what you are doing. Every 1 week we want to know what is going on. So we have to set all these things in progress so that the people then don't sit down there, be using us to go election and everything, and we don't know what you are doing. We can just hear that you want to do a bill or whatever it is. Tell us what is this bill for.
Exactly.
Organize things properly and let us know.
These are the things that we need to really establish strongly within ourselves, you know, our own well-being, right? And we are, unfortunately, we've left or we leave the well-being of others to the wrong types of people, right? Enslavers will be enslavers no matter what or where, right? You might turn around and say, "Oh, these people are helping me. They're giving me medication and all them things there." Let me tell you something. An enslaver is an enslaver no matter when or where. Okay?
You talk.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you know, say, whatever happens, if you survive, then you survive. They're not looking to make you well. They're not looking to make you well. You have to bear the responsibility of that for yourself. Yeah?
Brother Asim, if they know your people is with you, seriously, they're not going to be taking so much advantage on you. But if it's you alone trying to fight them when they come around you, try to make your own reasoning why they come. You see how they can come? They come with their set tree, they come with all this white face or whatever it is, come with first of all, some of them, the prime minister, he just send the what they call it, foreign minister and all this other thing there, and you see this white face, they get their set tree and everything and sit with you in one thing. But if you are a genuine project manager, you're working for us as well, what you do, announce this movement that is taking place. So when you come once on the year, you announce it. So, well, look, if the British come here or the Chinese come here, they say they want certain land them or whatever it is and so on. You are not the only one who live in that land. And we can come with an idea, not to shoot us, but because you are selling it to the family will be able to come and say, no, don't do that. Because if you sell the land, you are selling the land to the wrong people. This land is the inhabitants people there. How are you going to sell a land? Because where Chinese might go and buy that land, and it's so much gold in that particular place. You go and sell it.
Listen, gold and diamonds that are on the surface to Rockstone.
Yeah. Titanium, whatever it is, the material is, it's in that particular place.
Yeah.
You go and sell it. Because they get all these sophisticated things now to what and know what is around that particular place and so on. When you see they want it, so don't sell it to no one. You might come, you announce, you talk certain things them and what's going on. You say, well, some delegates come from Korea, they come from so place, but this is what we are organizing. Then let somebody them come and help you, give you an idea. Say, oh, Batman, what you want to do is not the right way. This is our own suggestion for that and so on. Don't go and make and say, why? Because of dollar, because of the yen, because of all this kind of money, you just go and take, right? And then when you sell your wealth, it belongs to them people. It doesn't belong to you again. Even they can't allow you to go to a certain area. It's just like when they get places and say for tourists, beach, and so on. They don't allow certain people to go there. They say this is for tourists. So me living my Milan now, I can't leave and enjoy my country again. I can't get that freedom.
And that is a big embarrassment in itself. Another man can come from a different space or place, and then you as a native, you can't even go to your own place where you live. Yeah, you're paying tax and everything, and you can't even go down to the same place that you actually live. You're crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
My man, like in Sierra Leone, they got a place where they get where they play golf, where the tourists them go. You understand? Where they play golf. You see this play, and I think they have done that from the time they colonized that particular part. So they have arranged all them places them and so on. Just like our brother Kwame was saying again, they get their schools them. They get everything which is for the white man. Right? We can't go to them places. It's like when you go to the beach, you pass that area, you can see this beautiful looking low green and golf and everything. You drive and go to some extent. That's where your own beach is. You can't come there.
Yeah.
It's like you're restricted. Yeah? That's why the people in Spain, in Mallorca, I think, whatever it is, right? But look at it and everything. They were demonstrating that the British are demonstrating against, not for say foreigners or whatever it is, but they don't want them in their land because when they come, they occupy the place, drink, drunk, disturb the area. Some people don't know even who are the local people there. They hang around or whatever it is because it's sunny and just spend time and drunk and mess up the whole place. So they were demonstrating. This is it. So we can't do that as an African people. We can't demonstrate and say, hey, Mr. What is name, the one in Jamaica, and Mr. What, wherever you live in Kenya, wherever they all live, in Ghana. Why can't we come in Gambia? Why can't we go enjoy or live our life? I can't go and swim because of this person them. That's why even you find out in the beaches them, right? Look at the sports they have in here. They have when they go to swim and all these kind of things there. You don't allow us to go to our own beach to go and swim so that we can come and beat them up in their own sport. Yeah? Yeah. So that's why I say we have to create our own Olympic. Because we can make a 1 foot man, and 1 foot man do a 1 foot race. We know an African man can do that.
Well, all them things there, because like even as I'm watching the Olympics and they're saying, "Oh, this is the fastest person," and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you know what? They're not the fastest person. Is that they're just the fastest recorded person? That's all they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the fastest person.
They make a sport for them own self, my brother. That's what they do. They make them sports for them own self, right? You go on top of the horse because they take all our horse them and bring to them. Take our lion them or whatever it is. They make like they can train the lion, they can make the elephant jump there or whatever it is. And it's we who get those skills, right? Look like when you talk about this X Factor. Why is someone cow? Some people bring music into this country. They bring all them things into this country. When this man to come and determine black men them how they sing when you don't know how to sing. You see how they take the money and give to themselves? Yeah. So everything that is our creativity, everything that is our knowledge and everything is what they balance to themselves. You come to the hospital, it's the same. I was watching the news once, a woman it's a white woman that is long ago, maybe might have been 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. And this woman come on the national news. And what happened, they were interviewing this woman and to give the woman a medal. And it was a white woman, like a heroic something. And then the woman turned to the black lady who was closer. And she said, don't give it to me. They said, you see this woman standing here? She is the one you have to give it to. Seriously, my brother. It took place. I believe most people must have seen that, but if they have that memory still, I don't know. But this is what took place. You know, that is what you call the stolen legacy. That's what is happening. We know how to build a house. Look like Nana Kweku them all. Go and build their house, them, help them. People and connect electricity there. Them boys, them all. Passing the electrical wires them or whatever it is for telephone, for their virgin, for all this kind of things. And these are our people, them, you know.
It's always that. It's always that, man. It's always like that. And like I've looked on it. I've looked on them in many a time, right? Because like like working in the environment of where I'm the only one that most of the time, and I just sit down and watch them. And I think to myself, these people are just, I don't know. It's like most of them don't have no morals anyhow, right? And then, I could do the same. I could do the same work, do the same hours, and all them things there. But I know said that I won't get the same value out of my money like how they would get the money out, value out the money, right? And like, sometimes I just said, you know what, I've had enough of this thing here. But because of my commitment to my children and my wife at the time, that, I have to just keep going, all them things.
Yes, brother. That's how we are in this system that we live.
Yeah.
Right?
You just have to just
now,
keep going.
if you was in Jamaica or the Caribbean where they get the sunshine and everything, or you live in Africa, you know, look, that's why they have to establish and concentrate mostly for the African countries them to have this electricity supply, which I think Nigeria was trying to do that. But for the supply, that's all of West Africa, and then you get the one them where they can branch it again, the whole of that East Africa, like when you call South Africa, you get Kenya, you get Namibia, you get all them places here. This electricity is a main important thing, to get things then, because we know that it's a necessity, part of the economy. Or get things them be going on or whatever it is, right? Because we know we get them, like when you say Burkina Faso or whatever it is, these places there, even in Nigeria and most of the African countries there, they have the things them that will make electricity go on. So if they concentrate on that, let the all of them get it. Same like when you're talking about the Caribbean island as well, right? So that electricity be firing there, not like when they have to take time. But look, to show you how much we get our skillful people, you know. It's not the Chinese them when the hurricane come in Jamaica and the Caribbean land. These people are the ones them going to restore the electricity or the thing. It's our own black people them. Yeah. Absolutely. So we can use our own African people them there, provided they get their mind. Come, go and work somewhere in Africa, in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, what? Go and you get to pay because you have to pay. You have to get food to eat. Only that we should build our mind in a way where we are not to be grabilicious. We come to have that greedy mind where we want everything. We to follow their style. 1 million, 2 million. We should leave them things them alone because where we live, we don't need no gas for heating. No way. Look like yesterday, my man. I can't even sleep properly or whatever it is because the place was too warm. And like I want to go and sleep outside. So this is how much we get that kind of thing there in Mama Africa. We get it in the Caribbean land. So we get things there which we can, which they get here, which we don't need. Because that's why they crucify and all, they're taking so much money out of what we have to pay for gas, we have to pay for electricity, we have to pay for tax on this, we have to pay for insurance on this. It's like pushing. Same system in America. If they don't get paid for their insurance or whether they can't get medical attention. All this kind of rubbish, my brother.
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's where we have to change the narrative. Right?
Yes.
As I say, even there was once in Sierra Leone, it was free. People go to the hospital. You don't even know you are paying. It's not paying. The medical things them are there. But the one that more the so-called project manager, they should have these things them are in their manifesto. The first thing, look, hospital, we need this hospital. Electricity, we need this electricity. Then good to go. Right? They concentrate on the water as well, so that people are able to get water to drink. Right? Most of them roads which were built, it just now like they want quick fix. They begin to call Chinese man to come and build the roads. I mean, we can do it, my man. I saw it with my own eye that African, even in Jamaica when I went there the last time. The Chinese man them are there. The black man was the one doing the work on the road.
Well, of course.
Maybe that's how they organize it. Though they say Chinese, but I saw it. Right? I saw where maybe they might be guarding the Chinese man as well.
One of the things that I've seen, right? Obviously, organization, and some skill set is required as well. But in all of it, right? That a skilled craftsman is a skilled craftsman, no matter where he is in the world, right? And there's no distinguishing between one or another, right? For instance, there has been occasions when I've been working on a project, right? and you can see that the chief engineer has come in and said, no, I don't want him to work on it. I want this person to work on it. And then you ask them why. They don't have no definitive answer, and it's obvious what the answer is, right? But the thing is that there's no distinguishing between one skilled person or another. Yeah. So therefore, when it's happened to me, right, I ensure that I make note of who has said that they don't want me to work on their things. So when I ever buck up on them again, right, I just tell them straight to their face, I'm not working with you. You understand? I tell them that I'm not working with them. You know what I mean? Because like the way all things are, you have to get in there first. You must get in there first. You understand? And make them know, say, that you are the one who's calling this upon yourself. Yeah?
You call the shots, yeah.
Yeah. Don't give them no quarter. Don't hold them no quarter. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not running to HR to protect your backside either. Right?
Yeah. Yes, my brother. This is the obvious thing. You see?
Yeah,
we get all creativity in us. We get the skills in us, right? Some of us, we just wasting. Because why? Just like we say, we need our mind. We need the right focus. We need the understanding. We need to galvanize. And galvanizing people, it's not just to go and say, oh, look at you. Yeah, man, you just care for yourself. Oh, you become the white man. You are, no. You just step in the man. Yeah?
Exactly.
Just arrange the conversation nicely. Right? Yeah, somebody might go, but you are trying to galvanize the people there. I remember I was listening to something like Malcolm X. First of all, they look around. They tell the people there. They say, look, all them people there, look, you are Christian there. Some of you are Hindus there. Right? They're all underneath the same roof. They say, I'm a Muslim or Islam, or how they call it, the Nation of Islam. Yeah. He said, but you know what? Look at you all. Look at me. We're all brothers here and sisters now. Right.
Exactly.
No religion has to separate we. Right? Nothing has to separate we. In another word, white man has known how to separate we. Because when they come to Ramsak, when they want to put us down, they're not looking who you are, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're
nobody's watching
they
nothing.
don't look to none of these things.
Nobody's watching nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching.
All they see is that skin they have seen already.
Exactly.
You look like a black man, or you're not one of them.
Right.
You know, that's what they see.
And also we have to realize that black people do it to us as well. Right? You have to realize black people do that to us as well. They're as discriminatory as what the white man can be. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right? And you should treat them the same way. If they want to discriminate, make sure them know say that you're being discriminatory, but here what? I'm putting you in the same category as well. Okay? Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm coming to the top of my hour. Right?
Okay.
You know that I'm going
my brother, let me leave you with this. One of the main, know, when they talk about this riot, right? That's what I'm bringing to you now, like in this country. When they talk about this riot, there was a riot, I think in
very briefly, please. Yeah.
1517 in this country. It's called the Evil May Day, right? When people were rioting in this London in 1517, Evil May Day, right? They riot against foreigners. So this is what I want the people to know.
Oh, yeah.
They see you as a foreigner, they see you as a stranger. So that's how we go. So rise up, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much. Brother Akram.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, Brother Akram, last words, brother. Are you still with us? Okay then, right. Okay then, thank you very much, my people, right, for being with us on the Blacknificent Show. This strong here, right? And I really do appreciate your presence and your listenage as well. And we look forward to being with you in the near future. In the near future, right? And remember also on the let me just reach across. Yes, so on the 24th of August, right? Please all turn up to Jamming for Justice, right? And the celebration of Galaxy's 40th anniversary. This is part one, actually, right? So it's Galaxy's 40th anniversary, and it's going to be live on air as well. So you can listen in and everything, or call in and as well, right? And the music by Cobra Sound System, SG Vibes, and others. I don't know if I can get a piece in there. And the location is Peckham Rye Park, SE15 3UA. And proceedings will be kicking off from 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So you can come out early, right? Come out early and just enjoy yourselves with us as a Galaxy family. All right. So until we meet again, let's have a peaceful day. Let's have a peaceful life.
Really like the way you sound and your conversation make the river just a flow right down. So won't you come in on my bedroom? Vibration. Really like your vibration. Spiritual meditation.
Everywhere I go, people say I am so, but they do not know. Soul is everywhere. Dying to the heat, baby. All of the bring in the summer rays. So close along. Yellow so turn. Come dance with me, baby. Tell me that you love me, girl, and you belong with me. When I walk the streets, down the street, say I did. Remember people passing by, would say so. Yellow so turn. Come and dance with me. Tell me that you love me, girl.